I forgot to delete that off the browser. Thing. There we go. Okay. Surprise collab! No, I'm kidding. Nya nya. Nya. Instead of beep. Nya. Why am I a furry putting on cat ears when I already had a rabbit ears? Polka's a fennec fox. She's not a cat. Polka's a fennec fox. I forgot to put on BGM. There we go. How's it going, chats? Welcome to the wonderful world of Warriormons. Welcome to the wonderful world of Warriormons. Wow. Are you a pink cat? Well, actually, I have cream-colored ears, so... Nya. Cutest rabbit became the ugliest kitten. What the hell? What the hell, man? Nikkani. Wait. Where the rabbit ears fake the whole time, you know it. Would this make you a fucked up calico, you know? I think it does. I mean, it's tricolors, right? A calico is white, orange, and black. Go to sleep, Pippa, you're drunk. No, I'm not. This outfit is... So, I would like to tell you all about the wonderful time when Pippa was 2.5. When Pippa was 2.5. Right now I'm 3, right? This is such a long time ago. Now there's merch of this shit. Oh my god. So when I was a little youngkin, when I was a youngkin, I use this website called Neopets. And on Neopets, there were these things called guilds. And on guilds, you could go and you could, make friends, chat with people. That's pretty much it. Guilds were very limited. People used to use them back in the olden times to rig the stock market, but that's a completely different story for a completely different day. We'll talk about Neopets stock market rigging eventually, but not now. Right now, we're gonna talk about the warrior cats and how an entire culture of pretending to be cats online in a unironic, non-furry, non-otherkin way. So on Neopets, on these guilds, anyone could start a guild. There was no minimum size, there was no maximum size. And you'd have all different types of guilds, right? Some guilds were dedicated to account improvement, right? So these would be like, oh yeah, let's upgrade our accounts as much as possible, and we'll help upgrade other people's accounts, like by helping them get their dream Neopets, by helping them complete their galleries, so like collecting rare items and stuff. There were guilds about role-playing Harry Potter. There were guilds about drawing. One of the most popular guilds was just one called Crayon, and it was just people that draw a lot. There were guilds dedicated to being adults on a kid's game, right? Because Neopets is a lot of children. So people would make 18+ guilds because kids fucking suck, right? People did not always want children starting shit in their guilds, so they would make like 18+ guilds. There were wolf roleplay guilds. There was a Watership Down roleplay guild that I joined. Then why would they play a kids game? What the fuck? Because Neopets didn't actually start out as a kids game. Neopets did not start out as a kids game. Neopets started out as a It was a website made by 2 adults in like their back shed. And it was full of like adult jokes and everything. Like the creators, like one of the fucking Neopets was like Gracie May, the singer. Like it was just really like random British humor. It was made for college kids. And that's how it started. And then it slowly became like a kids thing, and then it got bought out by a company called Viacom. And that's the corporation that owns like Nickelodeon and a bunch of other shit. Paramount Pictures. But that's getting off topic. So on Neopets, one of the largest, most frequent populations you'd find were the Warrior Cats guilds. There were so many Warrior Cats guilds. And when I was a young kid, I was more into wolves, right? So I joined like wolf roleplay guilds, and I got kicked out of them because I was so bad at roleplaying, right? And for those of you who don't know, I'll explain roleplay in a little bit. We'll talk about the roleplay community specifically, but this is just how I got introduced. So, these Warrior Cats guilds, I don't want to say this is like 100% the origin of the Warrior Cats community, but I really feel like it's what really kicked it off, alright? Like, without Neopets guilds, without the popularity of Neopets, and all these kids getting introduced to Warrior Cats from all these advertisements going on, because people would spam their advertisements in the guild boards, and they'd put their guild links in their signatures and go on to other boards, and you'd be like, what the hell? Oh, they're recruiting people for their guild. Oh, what's this? Warrior Cats? So you had Neopets in its prime, coinciding with like the dawning of the Warrior Cats community. And that's how I got introduced. I was looking for another wolf roleplay guild, and I ended up finding out about Warrior Cats, and I was like, what is this? And somebody was like, oh, it's a book series by Aaron Hunter. You should go check it out. And the next time I went to Barnes & Nobles, I went and I picked up book 1 of the first series. And I thought it was shit. I thought Warrior Cats fucking sucked, okay? Like, I was not, like, an actual fan of the series. I just wanted the roleplay in the guilds. I thought this book series was trash, right? I was like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. This is so dumb, but I want to join the groups. I want to be part of the communities. How did your role-playing go, Pippa? Oh, it was bad, but... I was a cringe kid, but... Yeah, so Warrior Cats, I was like, yeah, this ain't great, but I like the concept. And actually, the second series I thought was more interesting than the first series. So Warrior Cats is fucking expansive, right? Like, here you have their main website, and it's got all this shit on it. There's merch and everything now. Back when I read it, there was no merch. It's a series written by... multiple authors. It's written by multiple authors. I don't think this is a complete list. And there's also, like, co-authors that, like, help and everything. So, Kate Carey, Cherith Baldry, Victoria Holmes, Dan Jolly, Tui T. Sutherland. So these are, like, all the people collaborating on this book series. And there is a shit ton of them. There is a shit ton of these fucking books, right? There's super editions, which are like these, like, 500, 700 page books. And this is like... It's not sorting these into, like, the books. It's sorting these into the series. So this is Warriors, The Prophecies Begin. So this is the first series. And it's 6 fucking books. Started in 2003. Then you have the second series, which is the one that I enjoyed. That's also 6 books. Power of 3, 6 books. They're all 6 books, basically. And then you have the super editions, which are fucking huge. Fucking huge. Why are there so many books? Because when you have that many authors writing on them, I mean, you're bound to pump shit out. You're bound. Yeah. Warriors. Oops. All prophecies. Yeah. So I did not actually like this series, but I liked creating my own characters. I liked drawing my characters. I liked drawing other people's characters. I liked creating stories. And it's also how I met Stacy. Do you guys remember Stacy, the girl that got groomed by the Demonkin guy? Do you guys remember that? Yeah, this is where I met Stacy, on Neopets, in a Warrior Cats guild. And Stacy's gonna be a key part of this, because this is how I really bonded with Stacy. She was quite a few years older than me. And I looked up to her as like the cool kid, right? So I'm just a fucking 2.5 Pipkin. and Stacy's like 6, we'll say. Nah, not that extreme. Stacy was like 4. I was like 2.5. Stacy's like 4. We'll go with that. And then we had another friend. Yeah, Stacy is a stage name. It's not her real name. The Stacy Guard continues with a prequel. And I used to come home from school and I would spend all day role-playing Warrior Cats with Stacy and my other friends. Until slowly everybody left the guild, and it just because fucking the group was insufferable, and it just became me, Stacy, friend A, and frenemy A. We'll say frenemy B. And that's a whole wild story I could tell you guys about, but I'm not going to go into that right now because that's a whole sub-tangent thing. And we were fucking awful. We were a bunch of shitty children. And one of the things, because I wasn't really a fan of the books, I was not really a fan of the books. I kind of just took Stacy's word on a lot of this shit, right? This is how I like. I just in the fucking series, right? There's so much stuff. There's so many fucking books, and I was like, I'm not gonna read all that shit. My favorite series is Guardians of Ga'Hoole, and it's so much better written than this shit. This shit, quite frankly, is awful. It just provides a good premise. It provides a good premise and good world building for people to create their own creations off of. So, I read about half of the first series, and Pippa for real said mucho texto. And then I read all of New Prophecy, and I thought it was actually okay. But that's also because New Prophecy actually has a fucking story going on, like a consistent story. One of the problems I have with the Warrior Cat series is because it's like a bunch of different authors, right? Stuff kind of bounces all over the place. It's a bunch of cats, and the premise is you have this one cat. He starts as a house cat, and then he discovers that out in the forest, cats congregate into these groups called clans. And you have Thunder Clan, River Clan, Wind Clan, and Shadow Clan. But that's not all. That's not all. There's also other shit. There's like cat tribes, which, if was released now, would be of questionable appropriateness, because these are like the Native American cats. Yeah, that's a whole thing. Then you have like the ancient cats, Sky Clan. Yeah, Secret Sky Clan. Never read any of that shit. I didn't care about Sky Clan. That stuff was stupid. Anyways. And then it gets into Omen of the Stars. I read like 2 books in this, and I was like, this is fucking stupid, right? And then I don't even know what all this other shit is. I never even fucking read that. But I read some of the supplementary material. I read Code of the Clans. I had this book. It gave you inaccurate pictures of the cats. This is gonna be a reoccurring thing. Warriors is super inconsistent. So you buy these field guides, right, that teach you like the backstories of all the characters. and it gives you art of the characters, and then it's inaccurate anyways. So you're like, oh, well, that's not right. Like these fucking series are so inconsistent. They don't get the names right. The characters die multiple times. The characters perform happy with their siblings and have children, and that's how the second main character is actually born. So what I was talking about before is the start of the start of the series. You have this guy. His name is Fire. Well, his name is Rusty. His name is Rusty. But then he joins the clan, and he joins Thunder Clan. Why am I lagging? Why the fuck am I lagging? Homie joins Thunder Clan, right? And it's all about like proving himself that he is worth being part of this group and everything, and proving that he's not just a house cat anymore. And it's like a big deal, right? It's like a big deal. Why do I have 69 instances of Chrome up? What the fuck? I have like 6 tabs open. Jesus Christ. Anyways. So. Rusty goes into the forest. He finds these clans. He finds these clans of cats. He finds Thunder Clan. And he makes a friend. His friend's name is Graystripe. Graystripe is an incest baby. Yeah, the joys of having multiple authors who can't keep up with shit. Yeah, Graystripe's parents are siblings. And it's basically all about Rusty. Who then becomes Firepaw. There's a whole naming convention thing. When a cat is born into the clans, they give them the name, the suffix kit. And then when they're like 4 to 6 months old, titled moons inside the books, they have the suffix paw. And then they get their warrior name, which the second part of their name, the suffix will now like reflect one of their accomplishments or what they look like. It's all over the place. The leader will give you a second half of your name, basically. And then if you become the leader, you get the suffix star. So Rusty joins ThunderClan as Firepaw. He gets the name Fire, like the prefix Fire, because his coat is red. His fur is like red. It's actually orange, but they describe it as red. Whatever. Anyways. You can actually see him. And here, he's the one in the middle, right? So he joins as Firepaw, then he gets the name. Fuck, I don't remember. Shit. Actually, I don't remember his fucking suffix. He spends most of the franchise being Firestar. Was it Firepelt? He becomes like Firepelt or Fireclaw, something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Garfield Star? No. Fireheart! It was Fireheart! That's right! Fireheart! Yeah, okay. Michiru! Hi! Okay, he becomes Fireheart. Cats can't see colors. Moon Berserker. Cats also can't speak, but the cats in this series can speak, but only to each other, and also to badgers sometimes, and also other animals that are willing to learn how to speak cat. It's all over the place. This book series sucks. Anyways, so yeah, I don't need to explain the whole thing. I really don't need to explain the whole thing. But there's a lot of lore. The point is that there's a lot of lore. And there's a lot of different characters for you to latch onto. And there were some characters that I latched onto. There's one character, his name is Longtail. He's kind of like a... Their personalities are super inconsistent, so it's kind of like just stake your claim on a character and hope they don't change too much, because they probably will change because the characters have highly inconsistent personalities. But Longtail starts off as kind of like a grumpy... he's like a grumpy sidekick character to the main villain initially. The main villain's name is Tiger Star or Tiger Claw. And it's fucking wild. So this is a great book series. No, if you want to read something about animals, go read Guardians of 𝐏𝐻𝑡. Anyways. So there's a lot to this, right? There's a lot to this. There's a lot of lore. And it spawned a pretty big following. And most of the following is people like role-playing their own characters, and there's a lot of shipping, like shipping the characters together. Guardians of 𝐏𝐻𝑡, yeah, there was a movie about it called Legend of the Guardians, or is that what it was called? Legend of the Guardians? Legends of the Guardians? I don't know. Rise of the Guardians? No, I don't remember. The book series is called Guardians of 𝐏𝐻𝑡, and it's by Catherine Lasky, and it's pretty neat. There's references to like Fahrenheit 451, and there's like eugenics, and it's fucking wild. Guardians of 𝐏𝐻𝑡 goes like pretty deep into adult themes. Like surprisingly deep. Surprisingly deep into adult themes. There's eugenics, there's racism, there's child murder, there's a lot. There's a lot in Guardians of 𝐏𝐻𝑡. Sorely underappreciated. Warrior Cats is mostly edgy murder. Warrior Cats is mostly it's mostly murder and like more like raw emotions. And it's also like more easily digestible. And it accumulated quite. I'm probably gonna get so much fucking hate for that, but whatever. Warrior Cats is an easier read. Warrior Cats is based on something, or was it a new concept? Also, Thundercats is related to Warrior Cats. Thundercats is not related to Warrior Cats. And this is not based on something. They came up with the world and everything on their own. And, do they really not put Firestar on the fucking ThunderClan list? Would they put him under, like, kitty pets? Or would they put him on StarClan? I don't know. There's so many characters. There's so many characters. This was also one of my favorites. Cinderpelt. Wait, was it Cinderpelt or Cinderfur? Fuck. This series gets weird. This character ends up being reborn. I don't know how that works. This character gets reborn into another character after she dies. And it's really strange because it's like, wait a minute. She dies and then she gets reborn into another character like 5 minutes later, and it's like, does that technically mean abortion is okay in this universe? Because I guess these cats don't have souls while they're in the stomachs of their mothers. So really, doesn't that mean like you could have an like there's no soul? Like, like these characters. What happens is she dies saving somebody else's life. And this other cat is like giving birth like in the background during like the second series. And this character dies and then is reborn as the child of that cat that was giving birth in the background like 5 minutes later. Like it's like instant, like her soul just instantly like transfers over and she is reborn, and the authors confirm this and everything. So it's like, well, if that's how that works, I'm just saying. Respawning in 3, 2, 1. Was full memories intact? No. No. But yeah, so this shit is like all over the place. This is the tribes that I was talking about. Also, there's Cat Heaven. So this is StarClan. And StarClan is kind of fucking stupid. It's kind of like, you guys know ancient Egyptian mythology? Kemetic religion. You guys know about that, where in the afterlife, you basically want people to remember you and keep your memory alive, and you want people to give you offerings and everything, so that way your life in the afterlife is more comfortable. With StarClan, it's kind of the same thing, where you want people to remember you, because if people don't remember you, you die in the afterlife. So in StarClan, the last, like, if you're fucking One Whisker, right, and you were alive 100 years ago, and your children are passing down your name, like, yes, One Whisker was a brilliant deputy. I don't even remember this character. I think he's from the first series. I don't remember. Like in the movie Coco. Yes, like in the movie Coco. If you don't get remembered, you die. Again. Which I think is such a stupid concept, right? That's such a stupid concept. If you're forgotten, you fade in, you fade away. But then there's the place of no stars, where basically it's hell. It's cat hell. You're walking alone in a dark forest, and you can interact with people. It's very strange. In cat hell, apparently you can invade other people's dreams. You can invade other people's dreams and even cause like physical wounds upon them. And I guess you just get to stay here forever. How's there an afterlife if reincarnation is instant? Reincarnation was a special case for that one character because the authors liked her a lot. And it's very... Yeah, so then I get... Wait, this says none. So maybe these guys like completely faded into existence? I don't know. It's really fucking weird. It's really fucking weird. Then why did they kill her? It's very strange. This whole franchise is very, very, very strange. A cat named Tree. Yeah, the names are weird. And that's one of the things I want to talk about. So how I managed to bully other children is I didn't read a lot of this shit, right? I didn't actually read a lot of this. I didn't care. It's stupid. I just like cats. So Stacy would tell me like, oh, this happened. Oh yeah, that character that you like dies. Blah 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 blah. And one of the things that she told me is that there are naming conventions beyond just the prefix and suffix. So what she told me is that there's a concept in this community called naming elitism, and I don't know if it's still prevalent because I haven't paid attention to this shit for like many years now. many years now. And naming elitism is basically that some names are sacred. So like pool is like a holy word and you can't just use it for your OC. Because pool is a word like given by StarClan. Versus like blaze is just a descriptive. And I was like, okay, yeah, pool's closed. Pool's closed on the name pool. Fuck out. Get the fuck out. Cat AIDS. Anyways. So I was like, okay. I mean, that makes sense. And other names, you just shouldn't name a character, right? Like Dead, you said Deadpool? Like, you should not name a character like Dead, right? Because when the cat is born, it'd be named Dead Kit. Why are you naming it Dead Kit? That's stupid. That'd be like a taboo thing, right? So Stacy made this comprehensive guide around warrior cats name elitism. Name are livable. And are these books a game or just a grooming? So these are all books, and they turned into roleplay forums. Not ERP forums, but roleplay forums. And so Stacy created this comprehensive like naming guide thing on what you would name. No, there was not ERP. On what you should name your characters. How you should name them. And like so like Bristlefrost would be like bristly fur. So Bristle Kit, and then you would name Frost because like their fur is like the color of frost, or they have like blue eyes. Gray Stripe, they have gray stripes. Lion Blaze, they have like orange fur like a lion. And then Blaze, like their personality is strong, so they'd be named Lion and Blaze. And one of the things that I tried bringing up, because I wasn't completely like I'm a pretty gullible idiot, right? I'm a pretty gullible idiot. But talking to Stacy, I was like, hey, you said on here the band names. One of them is Cherry. Because a cat would not know what a cherry is. And I was like, how would a cat know what a lion is, right? How would a cat know what a lion is? How does a cat know what a tiger is? Right? Like, Lion Blaze. The cat would name it Lion Cat. How does a cat know? How does a domestic house cat know what a lion is? And Stacy was like, well, it's just something in the book, so you just have to accept it. And I was like, oh, okay. I questioned authority approximately once, and then I just went along with it. So, and then basically in our guild on Neopets, we would have people. And they would name their character stuff. And we would proceed to shit talk them in our private not Discord, because Discord didn't exist back then, but in like our private tiny chat room. On our private forum. And we had this entire... We had one of these. This is not our forum. This is not our forum. But we've had one exactly like this. This was a website called ProBoards. And I think this is still an active community, but there's like a shout box and everything, and we used this a little bit, and we also used, because this is like a live chat, we also used Tiny Chat, and then we would just like post in here, and we'd like post our characters, and write like backstories for them. And Stacy had like this one thing where she had like a whole alternate universe for her characters, where she wrote them in like, she wrote them like inspired by Black Butler's Alice in Wonderland OVA? So she would like give her characters like human appearances, and then have them like one of them was like the one dude, fuck, what's his name? He's like the Undertaker in Black Butler. The guy with the gray hair and the top hat. I don't remember his name, but one of her characters was literally like just him with cat ears. How human with cat ears. That is the most teenage girl thing I've ever heard. Sebastian, no. Pippa, are you okay? No. He had a name. No, not Undertaker the wrestler. He was like, is his name just Undertaker? Black Butler Undertaker. Oh, his name just is Undertaker, I guess. Oh, he's actually kind of hot, damn. Anyways, so this guy, she like made one of her characters just him with cat ears. It was all very derivative. It was all very derivative. And yo, the cat's got the wrestle. No. His name was never revealed. So anyway, yeah, they're all 10, not the wrestler. Anyways, Anyways. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, she had like we would make these posts and everything, and we would like roleplay our characters in these alternate universes and stuff, and we would shit talk the fuck out of the other people in the guild in like our chat box and everything. We would be like, oh my god, did you see how Shoiru, it's the name of a Neopet, I'm just gonna use Neopet names, how Shoiru named her character Green Kit. Oh my god, that doesn't make any sense. She said it was because her character had green eyes. But when the kitten is born, they have blue eyes. When kittens are born, they have blue eyes. And we would just go off. We would just go off. And we ended up conspiring. We ended up conspiring to upset. This was fucking horrible. This was fucking horrible. We ended up conspiring to bully one of the other girls out of the guild because I say we, but I went along with it, and the other girl, friend A went along with it. But this was all Stacy, okay? Like, we're just as guilty because we went along with it. But I just want to say, this was Stacy being like several years older than a couple of kids, and turning us into her personal army to bully the kids that she didn't like. Like this was like a fucking high school student surrounded by like 5th graders and 4th graders and middle schoolers, turning us into like her fucking personal army and bullying other like 5th graders. Not your personal army, man. I should have said that. Talk about a power trip. And it was so interesting because Stacy also did not want to be the guild leader, but she wanted to be the second in command. She always wanted to be like the second in command. She always wanted to hold like a high rank. And she always held a high rank everywhere she went. But she never wanted to be the leader of anything. And she didn't want the responsibility, yeah. So one of the things that we did was we created a this was all Stacy. Stacy was very into anime. I was kind of into anime, but I was more into like, I like shit like Lucky Star, right? I like stuff with like cute girls, like Azumanga Daioh. I liked cute girls getting into cute shenanigans. That was like my thing. Stacy's thing was like Black Butler and Full Metal Alchemist and what else was she into? I think like Gintama. You wouldn't have even understood Lucky Star. I didn't have to understand Lucky Star. It was cute girls doing cute things. Alright. Listen, I saw a clip of one of the girls, the Claire clip, where they're talking about how to eat a chocolate eclair. And that got me hooked. It was cute girls doing cute things. That's all that mattered to me. And, you're talking like Digibro? Oh well. Stacy eventually moved on to being an elitist and shaping me into an elitist with My Little Pony stuff, but that's a different, that scene is unbearable? Fuck you, that's fucking cute. Literally the first episode, yep. You do eat it the correct way, right? Oh my god. So, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways. Stacy hatched a plan that was inspired by Full Metal Alchemist. She really liked the concepts of the sins, so we all made characters inspired by the sins from Full Metal Alchemist. And there were 3 of us. There were 3 of us doing it, and we split 7 characters between ourselves. And then we just basically harassed the shit out of the girl that Stacy did not like. We basically harassed the shit out of the girl that Stacy did not like. So we went on, and we had our characters, right? And our characters lived secluded from everybody else inside this abandoned house. And they would like commit murder. They would like torture people. They would, yeah. And Stacy would like. What were your sins, Pippa? JF17, thank you for the 333. I don't fully remember. I remember the one character. I wasn't super into it, right? I wasn't super into it. I remember Stacy had pride, lust, and I think sloth. And I think I took wrath. I think I took wrath and greed. I think mine were wrath and greed. I only really roleplayed wrath. And then I think the other friend A took the others. I think. I don't even remember all the sins off the top of my head. Hold on, it's no. Stacy took gluttony. Because I remember she had like an actual like very gluttonous character. She had pride, lust, and sloth. She took the most of them. Does this fanfic still exist? You know, I don't know. But it wasn't really a fanfic. It was like a roleplay, and then we had like our own fanfictions about our characters. And yeah. But I had my other characters that I cared more about. So like in the guild, I had the role of Medicine Cat. And that's the main thing that I cared about. I was like my favorite character. I had this like just this very nice dad, Medicine Cat. So he was like the doctor, and they're not supposed to have children, but like I had this thing that like, oh, back before everybody else came along, he like had a fling, and now he has like he has like this one child, and that's it. So he was like this like very nice dad, and he just took care of everyone. Just a nice dad. And then I had like a self-insert character that I did a lot of stupid stuff with. I was not very familiar. Like I did some role playing, but I was terrible at it, and like I would have my character like run all over the place basically and be like interacting with multiple people at once and stuff. And I got better about it as time went on. I was very young when I started all this. And I do have Stacy to thank. Because Stacy, like, while she was very hardcore with her elitism, it also like gave me a higher standard to strive for. So I shaped up. Sometimes a cat is just a dad. Yeah, so that being said, we bullied the fuck out of this one girl, Frenemy A. Was originally our guild leader. And we all basically rebelled against her and left the guild because she was kind of weird. So like when I first joined, my like self-insert character had a very edgy backstory. And she had like these two parents that were very toxic and like tried to kill her and blah 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 blah. Sad story. And now they were in cat hell. And I really actually like these two characters a lot. I would continue to like give them further backstories, and I fleshed them out a lot more, and I tried to improve upon them as time went on. And I basically turned them into like a Bonnie and Clyde type pair. But for some reason our guild character also liked my characters, and she kept trying to take them from me. she kept taking them from me. Like, she decided that my two characters had also a part in the origin of the guild story. So the guild story had like this, like, it was based on like a rebellion or whatever, and two clans formed from it, and then the one clan got like wiped out or whatever. And she like retroactively applied it so that my two characters that were the parents of my self-inserty character were like the starters of like that rebellion and stuff, and were like the real bad guys and everything. And she would like try and roleplay them and everything, and I was like, these are my characters. These are my characters. Why cats though? Because that's what Warrior Cats was, and role-playing cats was more fun than role-playing people. Yeah, this is mine. So, was this one a high schooler too? I think she was also in like middle school. I don't think she was old. Stacy was definitely the oldest in the group. So yeah, that really initially made me hate her. And then the guild leader also had like another friend. And I kept making fun of the other friend because one of their characters' name, first of all, you're not supposed to name your character, or with the elitist naming conventions, you're not supposed to name your character Star, right? Because Star is like the name of Star Clan, and if that cat ever became leader, their name would be Star, right? So not only was that cat's name Star, but the last part of their name was Scream. And you see, I was a fan of Transformers, so I was like, so you named your character Starscream, eh? I was like, so for those of you who don't know, Starscream is a character from Transformers. And I kept bullying this one character, or this one person with Transformers references. And they had no fucking idea, right? They had no idea what I was going on about, and I was basically just shitting up the forum with Transformers references, and yeah, it was wild. That part was actually pretty funny. I wish I saved screenshots of that. But so the main guild leader was getting on my nerves with their Transformers name stealing friends, and their stealing of my characters, the stealing of my Bonnie and Clyde cats. And the final straw that actually made everyone genuinely uncomfortable was she had one of her characters. One of her characters had a crush on one of Stacy's characters. And so did one of my characters. Can I pet your tail? Yes, you can pet my tail. Like, one of my characters had a crush on one of Stacy's characters as well. And so the guild leader had one of their characters try and commit forced non-consensual happy on my character so that she couldn't get with Stacy's character. And everyone was like, yeah, no, this is too far, goodbye. Struggles. There's not ERP. It's just fade to black. Whenever something like that happens, right? It's just like, oh, fades to black. They say like, oh, fades to black. How many kittens do you want to result from this? You know, because one of the things with Warrior Cats is like, you basically have to keep the story going, and you have to keep it. Oh my god, Kuko, thank you for the $100. Because the story progresses, Yeah, roll for litter size, unironically. If you don't keep introducing new characters, they die off so quickly. They die off so quickly. Because Warrior Cats is such a edgy series. Murder is normal. Characters dying from like infection or falling off cliffs, that kind of stuff. It's just normal. It's just part of how it goes. It's mostly about like developing the legacy of the clan versus developing individual characters. Or that's how a lot of guilds were. And that's how our guild was. It was more about the clan as a whole and how it progressed versus the individual characters. But I mean, we're role-playing our individual character. But anyways, characters die fast, so... When that happens, do the cats breed with each other? Yes. It's not like role-playing them out, right? It's not like role-playing them... like role ERPing. It's not erotic roleplay, right? It's like, oh, our characters have good chemistry. Want to have them hook up? Okay, sure. Our cats are officially mates, and they have these children. As someone who read some of these books and regretted it, I support your choice of violence against these people. Thank you for the $5, Ollie. But some people did get a little ERP-y. Some people did get a little ERP, right? And that was fucking weird. Like I would not join anything like that. And the second it got too much like that, another frequent problem was joining a guild, and that's all anyone wants to do is like have their characters hook up. Like it was all about the romance drama, right? And it's like, man, fuck off. It was all about the romance drama. Our guild was not like that for the most part. There were some people that would pop in that were like that, but yeah, they were basically, yeah. Anyways. Kind of ERP adjacent. So, no, it was not an ERP guild! Okay, there was a little ERP. I did not ERP. ERP was not allowed. Like, you would get very quickly shunned in most groups for doing that. Especially like in our guild, it was not a thing. That is the whole reason we left our original guild leaders guild. Does Army, thank you for becoming a big peepee. She was putting way too much emphasis on like the relationships, like the romantic relationships between the characters, and she was getting a little too like, she was going too far with things. She was going too far with things. So we left. We made our own guild. We had the story that there was a giant flood, and it was so fucking hilarious because we didn't actually leave immediately. What we had happen is we started role-playing. We were talking on our private forum. And we were like, she can't stop us if we just force something to happen, right? So we forced a flood to happen inside the guild, and we just role-played it out that StarClan was angry over what the guild leader did. Over what the guild leader tried to do. And the guild leader was so like upset and complaining and asking what was happening, and we weren't allowed to just like take control of the environment like that. Sometimes even $5 blue team remembers Warrior Cats. So we go through. I should put like something on the background. So I want to show. This is like a Warrior Cats AMV. I'm gonna mute it, but this is like, people are very passionate about this stuff. There's a whole community outside of like forum role plays. There's also animations. There's an animated series somebody made. There's multiple Warrior Cats fan animated series. There's multiple games, etc., etc., etc. Do I have autoplay on? Yeah. So I'll just let that go. So basically, in the guild, animated cringe. Here we go. Shut up. These people are very talented. These people, I'm sorry, but these are extremely talented people. Animation is not easy, and the Warrior Cats community attracts so many like very talented people. It inspires so many talented people, and they create some brilliant stuff. Back to the guild story. Back to the guilds. Back to talking about bullying children. Study your B! So we go... Next generation's Lion King. Yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah. So we go onto the guild, and we start the guild forum, and we start role-playing out this flood. And the guild leader is so pissed. The guild leader is so upset. They're like, what the hell are you doing? This is not allowed. I did not consent to this. But then they just go along with it because they can't stop us. And then just all at once, we leave the guild and we start a new one. We start a new one. We decide that the cats float off to another island. The cats get caught up in the flood and they float off to another island. And it gives everyone the opportunity to like start some new characters and everything, and some characters like tragically die and it's so sad, blah 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 blah. Was it all the cats? Was it? No, not everybody survived the trip to the new island. And that was like a big thing about it. We started recruiting for new members and everything. And this one person joined that we just knew immediately was the alternate account of our ex-guild leader. We just immediately knew that this person was our ex-guild leader. They were pretending... They were pretending to be like a rich boy that had these very expensive cats. Hog-powered. and we were just immediately like, yeah, that's them. That's them. I can recognize them from a million miles away. Like their art, not their art, their writing style is like the exact same. And we just proceed to try and make their life as miserable as possible to get them to leave. And I don't know why. I'm pretty sure it's because Stacy just delighted in the drama. I don't know why we didn't just kick them. I don't know why we didn't just kick them, right? It was like... The video was upsetting, but I really don't know why we didn't just kick them from the fucking guild, right? Because they were an asshole. And we were just bullying them anyways. I don't know why they stuck around. But they would do stuff. They would do stuff like have their characters descend from heaven. They would like have it so that their characters... Whenever we killed off one of their characters... Because we would just straight up do that sometimes. We would just kill off their characters, right? Because we were assholes. Yeah, because we wanted to bully him. They would have their characters, like, attack the group from heaven. The dead cats up in StarClan, they would, like, descend from StarClan physically to come, like, beat up our characters and stuff. And it was just such a fucking mess, right? It was such a fucking mess. We barely kept anyone else in the guild, right? People would join the guild and they would fucking like leave within like a week. We were insufferable. Where are all these videos titled with map? Multi-animator project. This word came before a minor attracted. Yeah. It stands for multi-animator project. This word is older than the word that the people with the pear icons on Twitter use, okay? So, anyways. Calling them people's a bit of a stretch, chat. Anyways. So. Michiru attracted Pippa. So, we would go and we would bully the shit out of them, and people would join and people would leave. And all along we had like the secret forum where we would recruit other people, and honestly it was a lot of fun and I kinda miss it. It was a lot of fun and I kinda miss it. There was like just having a group of people that you create art with and you create stories with, and they encourage you and you encourage them. It was just nice. It was just nice. And this was before cringe culture was really a thing. I miss drawing a lot. I miss like the adventures that the characters would go on. Stimulating in a creative sense, yeah. Now I would not have time for something like that. Like I did like nothing but that like all day. The 2000s Envision Free and Pro Board RP forums were fun. But it still persists. Persists. It still persists. If you miss it, then you should just do it again. I don't really enjoy Warrior Cats though. I don't enjoy Warrior Cats. And there are other communities that I could join that are similar, but I don't like DeviantArt, and that's where the bulk of this stuff happens. And a lot, I don't know, I don't know. It sounds like this was training for your current occupation. You know what? Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Because one of the benefits was I definitely learned to improvise with things. You know, because people will throw all kinds of stuff at you, and you gotta come up with creative ways to get out of it. You develop different characters, and they all have their own personalities, and you draw art of them, and you... I used to do animations and everything. I was never this talented, but... Spitball us an OC right now, have one last go at it. You know what? We could go on to the Warrior Cats website. They now have a character creator. But I wanted to show you some other things about how inspired this community was. Derek, thank you for the 420 and the Watership Down quote. So Warrior Cat still has a thriving community. Release your animations on onegai. No. They were terrible. You guys see my art as it is, alright? I'm not an artist. My animations were even worse. So, people create very amazing things, right? This is a Warrior Cats game on Roblox, and like it's fucking phenomenal. Like how well made it is. And back when I was younger, the game that I enjoyed was the Warrior Cats game, which was made with RPG Maker. And this was like somebody recreated like the first book of Warrior Cats in RPG Maker, and it used a lot of stolen art, and it was pretty bad, and you can still download it to this day actually. And I used to play this for hours. There are like guides and everything on it. There's let's plays. You like level up your character and you get into battles and you start like a party and everything, and it's just like this is pretty old. This is pretty old. And it was just a very passionate community. It still is a very passionate community, and it's actually pretty nice to see it still going. Do you also commit very happy? No. Is there no official Warrior Cats game or show? There is not. There was going to be a movie. If I remember correctly, there was originally going to be a Warrior Cats movie, and it was gonna be from like China, I think. But then they decided that they would have to cut out too much of the blood and too much of like the fighting to appeal to a Chinese audience. So they didn't do it, which it's like, well, why was it like a Chinese thing to begin with then? I don't know. So that never went through. But there are lots of fan games. Though there's like personality quizzes, like in you guys know like the World of Wizardry. So it's called Wonderful World of Wizardry. The Harry Potter stuff. Same thing with Warrior Cats, you know, like you can like sort yourself into clans. I don't know what a mythological clan is, but like what power would you have? What I don't know what this is either. Like what clan would you be in? What would your warrior cat name be? Like there's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff. And this is new. You can do one? I can do one. Which clan would we be in? Which clan would we be in? This is like Harry Potter for boomer women. No, this is like Harry Potter for like closet furry zoomers. Please do the clan sorting or name thing. I will do the hey! I will do the clan thing. What even are the clans? So there's Shadow Clan, which is the evil guys. Star Clan, which is the dead guys. Thunder Clan, which is like the main characters. Wind Clan, which is the assholes. River Clan, which is the up Shadow Clan's assholes. And I think this was Sky Clan. I don't know shit about them. Wind was actually my favorite. Wind was actually my favorite. They all have like different things about them too, but it doesn't really make sense. Like River Clan is supposed to be cats that can swim really well. They can swim and they mostly fish for their food. And then Thunder Clan is like usually physically stronger. Shadow Clan, they mostly eat stuff like frogs and they're more like lanky and secretive. Wind Clan, they can run fast. Cats can swim? Yeah. Is there a Sausage Clan? What? So what makes you feel better after a bad day? Spending time with my family? Losing myself in a project of craft? Curling up with a good book or movie? Working on a challenging puzzle or game? Or having a bit of time for myself with some peace and quiet? God, I cannot read! Wind Clan was fast and they chased down rabbits. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Kind of morbid. Somewhere out there, someone probably wrote a fanfic of Mouse Guard or Mouse Templar versus Warrior Cats. Maybe. I really wish something like Mouse Guard would get the same audience as Warrior Cats. I really wish Guardians of Ga'Hoole would have the same audience as Warrior Cats, but... Because Mouse Guard is fantastic and Guardians of Ga'Hoole is fantastic. It's really a shame they don't... They're not more appreciated. I just like to sleep now. Right now I just like sleeping. You know what I like doing? I like daydreaming. I'm a big fan of daydreaming. Ali! Hello! Little brother! Requesting a Pippa emote. Also Pippa Bonky emote. Maybe by the end of the year. You know what? I will work on them. I'll work on them. What does your room look like? A complete mess. I don't even need to wait. I don't even need that. It's gotten better, but it's still a mess compared to most people. A friend has been dealing with anxiety over something. You lend them a sympathetic ear, offer suggestions on ways to deal with whatever is making them feel anxious. This is what I used to do all the time, right? Because I thought it's kind of a waste of time to offer somebody sympathy, right? You should just try and help them fix their problem. And then I learned I was an asshole, and that's not what you're supposed to do. Offer them a distraction with their favorite activity. Share stories of my own anxieties. That's kind of a... then you're gonna feel like you're making it about yourself, right? Suggest they talk to their parents or a therapist. Fuck you, I'm not your therapist. Go talk to a real one. Go talk to a real one. Imagine telling us to clean our rooms when your room is a mess. Yikes, don't yikes me. Don't fucking yikes at me. I'm literally shaking, bro. Don't yikes me. Sam, learn to just shut up and listen even if you think they're done talking. Mold. Yeah, I just let people vent now. Like I don't, the things that make sense to me. Oh my god, dog, no. No. The things that make sense to me do not make sense to other people, apparently. Or not what other people are looking for. So I just shut up and listen. Dog angry. Dog not like cat. Actually, dog. My dog actually really loves cats. My dog's best friend was a cat. Doog wants to vent. Pippa shushes him. I know, I'm sorry. Pippa can't give advice, she'll just make them worse. Probably. I do my best to give advice, but listen, you probably shouldn't actually take advice from me. How many friends do you have? tons. One really close friend. I have a few really good friends. I'm closer with my family. I prefer to keep myself. Since I started VTubing, I have gained a few close friends. Since I've started VTubing, I have gained quite a few close friends. And I don't know if they're actually close friends, but I like to believe they are. Like Mi-chan, yeah. Like Mi-chan. Originally, I used to think that when somebody was nice to you, they wanted to be your friend. Or they were okay with being your friend, right? So when I started like doing stuff online, I used to think, oh, this person wants to collaborate and everything. They must want to be friends. Bose Does True Crime is a YouTube channel and a Twitch streamer, and she talked about this in her recent video. She was like, people act nice and friendly and they want to collab with you, and you act all nice on video and everything, and most content creators do not want to be friends with each other. Is Mi-chan friend A? No. Mi-chan is not a friend. Mi-chan is alcoholic grandma. Mi-chan is a real friend. Mi-chan is a real friend. I like to believe anyways. I hope so. I value her as a real friend. Clouds are a good excuse to leech off each other. When there's a profit motive or clout or something, it muddies the water. Yeah. Chad is the only one you can trust. What would your friend say is your greatest strength? Straight. Fuck! I cannot read today! I cannot read today! Honesty, creativity, kindness, talent, intelligence. I think most people like my honesty because I have Pipkin. So so it's like if you like my honesty, you're gonna really like it because I'm just gonna tell you exactly how I feel. I will not beat around the bush. Even though I really should sometimes. But the people that like that, really do so. Physically incapable of not being honest. I mean, I can lie, but like it's easier to like rather than lie, right? I think it's better to just not say something. You know, like rather than like actually like be like, no, the sky is not blue, the sky is red. I think it's better if somebody's like, so what color is the sky? To be like, you know, I don't really know, but it sure is beautiful, isn't it? Because if I say, yeah, the sky is red, everybody sees right fucking through me, so what's even the point? What's even the point? But I'm also one of those people, I get very... Like, okay, management will ask me, like, oh, did you do this? Like, as like a bad thing or whatever, they'll be like, did you do this bad thing? And I'll be like, no? And I like genuinely didn't do it, but now I'm so paranoid, thinking, oh my god, they think I did it. And it's like, well, I didn't do it. I don't know why I'm so scared. But oh my god, they probably think I did it. Now everything that comes out of my life, I'm gonna have to sound as convincing as possible. I need to sound as convincing as possible. And it's like, I didn't even do anything wrong. Why am I like this? I get so fucking panicked. You gaslight yourself. I gaslight myself. Did you murder that boy? Dude, if somebody asked me, like, did you murder someone? They could have been across the country, and I'll be like, oh my god, I need to convince them that I did not do it. And it's like... But I didn't do it, so why am I so anxious? Why am I so fucking anxious? I think it stems from, like, my parents would always... like, ask me something, right? And you know when your parents... give you like that attitude, like they know you did something even though you didn't, and you're just like, but I actually didn't do that. My parents would just always do that. No matter if I told the truth or if I told a lie, my parents would always just act like I was lying. So it's like, man, everyone just always thinks I'm lying. But they probably don't, you know? I don't think most people even actually, like, notice or care, but I'm, like, so stuck in that mindset. My parents would always assume I was the one that fucked up even if it wasn't my fault. Man, sing. Just believe that whatever you say is correct, then you can't sound incorrect because you tricked yourself into thinking you're correct. What crimes have you committed? One time I was playing with a ball and I threw it through the window by accident. My parents are still out getting milk. Ah. You think they're gonna bring up your bad school grades? Man, I was so blunt about... Listen. Life is so much easier when you have nothing to hide, right? When you take pride in your fuck-ups... Man, fucking end of the year, I'd be like, look, Pipkin, I graduated with straight D's. And Pipkin would be like, why are you acting like that's a good thing? I'm like, because it's all D's. Isn't that kind of impressive? I could have gotten a C, I could have gotten an A. Look at that, that's all D's. Isn't that kind of badass? And Pipkin would be like, there's something wrong with you, kid. All these nuts, eh? But yeah, it's like... I don't know. I don't know. I just... Pippa out here skirting through life on a jet ski. Did you graduated? I got good grades all around, but my mediocre math grades gave me anxiety. I was... Listen, like with high school, right? With high school. I was aiming for a 4.0. And then I got a C in a math, or not a math class. I had an A and everything in math, right? Yeah, dog slip. I got an A in math. I got A's all across the board, right? And I would do extra credit. I was aiming for that 4.0. And then I gave my art teacher a bit of attitude. And she gave me a C on an assignment. And it dropped my grade. And I just gave up. Like that, like I just straight up fucking gave up. I was like, okay. They can just do that? Yeah, they can just... I mean, who's gonna fucking stop them, right? It's art class. It's an art teacher, who cares? I mean, when it brings your GPA down, it's like, what's even the point? You know? Like, what's, like... This bitch fucked up my GPA because I gave her a little bit of an attitude. And I didn't even give her directly an attitude, right? I didn't even, like, mouth off to her or anything. There was this assignment, and she said I didn't do it right. So I did it again, and I did it right, and I did a low effort. And she knew that it was low effort because of the way that I did it. So she gave me a C on it. And it affected my grade, and I was like, you know, if that's how you're gonna fucking be, then I'm not even gonna fucking try. Enjoy. You know, you could have had a fucking 4.0 student come out of your fucking school, right? But no, fuck you, bitch. Like, that made me so fucking angry. That completely destroyed all of my motivation. That destroyed all of my motivation. All of that hard work. Keeping my grades up in tip-top fucking shape and doing extra credit. And she fucking... over a fucking art project. Makes it worse that it was done by the art teacher. That's what really pissed me off. Like, if it was something I could have objectively fought, it's like, you can't fight me on, like, math, right? Like, there is an objectively right answer. But, like, with fucking art, it's like, oh, well, the art teacher didn't think you did a good enough job, so... So that is when I gave up. That is when I gave the fuck up. Just think, if that art teacher gave you a good grade, you might have gone on a different path and not be here. That's true. You know, that's true. If that art teacher had given me a good grade, I might have continued working hard in high school, and I might have went on to go to, like, a nice college or something, and I wouldn't be here vetoing. My fucking stream is dying. What the hell? It's like getting angry at the physical ed teacher because he gave you a bad grade because you didn't want to run a mile in 8 minutes. GPA is usually automatically calculated at the end of the... I had a driving class that dropped my GPA mysteriously to match the second highest student that just so happened to be the rich kid. Could have been a doctor. I did want to be a doctor at that point. That was actually my motivation. Was I wanted to become a doctor? And I was like, I need a 4.0 GPA if I'm gonna get into a good school. I was looking at like the highest paying jobs for being a doctor. I was like, this lifestyle is perfect for me. I am perfectly fine with being on call and everything and basically just living at my workplace, you know? I'm not a social person. Pippa's teacher, thank you for the $1. Don't be like that, Pippa. I give you a C because C is the third letter in the alphabet. It was a compliment. But if you want to take it that way, then I hope you become part of my rabbit still. Oh my god. I had my GPA dropped like a rock because the superintendent kids bullied me. I ended up beating his ass. That's what happens. While grade is important, what they're looking for is volunteer and work hours. I was so dead set though on getting a 4.0. I did a lot of volunteer work. That would have been fine. I probably could have gotten in with like volunteer work and a not perfect GPA, but I wanted a perfect GPA. And I wanted to fucking excel. I wasn't gonna settle for like trying to apply and hoping to get in and like having this big fight. I wanted to take the path of doing everything perfectly and doing it right. So I could be guaranteed to get in and not have to sit there and wait and be like, oh, well, maybe, oh, I failed this time, well, I'll work a summer job or whatever while I try to get in for the next semester, blah, 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 blah. Would you ever be able to handle a one-on-one conversation with your clients? Doctors don't actually talk to their clients one-on-one a lot of the time. Like, when you work in hospitals and stuff like that, they usually have, like, nurses and assistants for stuff like that. I wanted to actually do, like, I didn't want to do like surgery. I wasn't really into things like surgery, but there were a few different specific things that I was looking at. Feed bored prisoner, she's mad. She fucking has food. Surgeons don't talk to their clients. All doctors should talk to their clients. Doctors should talk to their clients, but this damn adult telling you you're pretty dumb was just devastating. An adult told you were dumb, Alex? Fuck them up, bro. That's what adults are like. I mean, it wasn't even that uncommon, right? Like, I heard teachers shit on the other students, and career plans are so difficult. Making kids think about it is so hard when so young is kind of messed up. Could you tell someone that they're going to die? At that point, I probably could have. At this point in my life, like back then, I wasn't very empathetic. I was very shut off emotionally. I wasn't at like a great spot in my life, and I was very cold and very focused. I was like, I am going to succeed, and this is what I'm going to do, and that is all I cared about. And then after dropping out and becoming a NEET, I kinda started to shift more, you know? I guess as I grew up more. And I really started to like find people that I connected with more, and I guess found spaces that I fit into. It got a lot easier to have empathy. I like how the stream went from discussing some kids' cringe books to crushing pressure to succeed in school and how to fix them for the rest of their lives. Hearing about bad teachers makes me feel bad about slacking off on the good ones that wanted me to succeed. Good teachers are rare. Good teachers are really rare. I had some teachers that I really loved and really inspired me. But the bulk of them just don't care, you know? The bulk of teachers just really don't care. They don't care if you succeed, they don't care if you fail, and they're just kinda caught up in what their life could have been, and they're taking it out on you. Well, that's what I've seen anyways. I'm getting depressed watching a Pippa stream. No! They can't personally care about every kid. No. They can't personally care about every kid, no. I hate a teacher. I had a teacher tell my parents that I would never be capable of living unsupervised. Then she had her baby and mellowed out. Oh my god. What the fuck? I had one guy that became an English teacher because he failed at being a cop. That's honestly what a lot of teachers are, I feel like. Like, not to be an asshole, but it's kind of like if you can't teach, or if you can't do, then you teach, right? That's why, like, so many PE teachers are, like, failed athletes. The ones that want you to succeed also don't usually have the means to do so. Like, I don't want to be, like, a complete bitch, right? But that's just how it is. A lot of English teachers are, like, failed authors or people that wanted to work in some literary science, but it's too competitive, and that's wrong with the public education. Thank God there are private options. I dropped out, but had to get a job. Alternative was offing myself. I never had a job for longer than 2 months in my life. Jesus. Science teachers are usually the most passionate. Yeah, science teachers seem to be largely exempt from this. I think a lot of science teachers just like science and are passionate about science, and it's more hands-on. I've had so many teachers that are failed something or other. Yep. What are failed math teachers? I don't know. I guess I have no idea what a lot of failed math teachers would be. Or failed like math teachers, what they failed out of. Failed lawyers? Really? Failed math teachers are in jail for some reason? What? If teachers had marketable skills, they wouldn't be in public schools. Science is cool. Exclude many social science professors. My better teachers were history teachers and economics teacher. Normal mathematicians. Math teachers only fail theoretically. I think STEM teachers genuinely want to teach others. A lot of math teachers are assholes. Good math teachers are goated. I had one really great math teacher, not only teach like a genius and encourage hard work, but they're also generally very social and active within the community. Yeah. School is complicated, life is complicated, and just because something doesn't work out doesn't mean it's the end of the world, you know? I think I'm much happier being a VTuber than I would have been being a doctor, you know? Like, I basically only wanted to be a doctor for, like, the prestige and because I liked the lifestyle. I really like the lifestyle of not being bound by... This is gonna sound like... I'm gonna sound like such an asshole, but, like, I like the lifestyle of not being bound by, like a family or anything, you know? Like, doctors are, like, entirely on call, always going into work, always going out of work, spending nights in the office and stuff, and I just like that. I like the idea of not having to come home. Home has always been, like, the worst place for me. In the worst timeline, Pippa hands out meds. Yes, in the worst timeline, I handed out meds. Just be a pilot then. Flying scary. Flying scary. I had a history teacher who, thinking back on it, was a Reddit atheist before Reddit was a thing. Oh my god. VTubing rocks, screw helping other people. They can care themselves. Yeah, fuck them kids. Be a geologist, people expect you to be weird. Handing out instead of doing is a little better. People just be a trucker. Could have been a trucker. But I'm a VTuber now. Also, trucker doesn't have, like, the prestige to it, right? Like, the thing with doctors is it's such a status symbol. Like, it's such a status symbol getting to be a doctor. Not only is it so competitive just going through school, but it's also, like, such a demanding thing in itself. Jill 17, thank you for the 1337. Hating your home is the worst. Hope your new borough is better. Yeah, I should hopefully be moving in like a month or two. And hopefully that'll be maybe not a permanent home, but you be an EMT, maybe. I also have a 50-50 relationship with creative field teachers. Some are absolutely amazing, others are horrible narcissists who expect perfection to blossom and or do things by their standards. I hate art teachers, but I'm biased. And thank you for the $1. It's genuinely impressive how you're able to fix autocorrect and spelling mistakes mid-read on messages. That's also how we know that when you say, I can't read today, it's actually the list. What? What the fuck? Phase World Roads, take me home to the meds I belong. Hate art teachers, even Bob Ross. Bob Ross is different. As a scapegoat in high school, I was always getting yelled at by the teachers. Oof. Hated my music teacher for that reason. Yo, music teachers fucking suck most of the time. Music teachers are assholes most of the time. They're so up their own ass. Like, they act friendly, right? But they're so pretentious. Last time I was at the doctor, she was literally looking up info on Google in the exam room. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna finish taking this test. Your favorite summer activity is eating ice cream with friends, swimming, hanging out in a treehouse, summer camp, or catching fireflies at night. I like bugs. I would love to go catch fireflies. That'd be amazing. You gotta set them free afterwards, but oh my god, I love bugs. They're so cute. My music teacher is in jail. Jesus Christ, Ian. A friend is being bullied by some classmates. You offered to talk to the bullies. Tell my friend to ignore them. Offered to set up a trap of some kind for the bullies. Suggest they tell the teachers. That's what I would have done originally. And then I learned teachers don't do anything. Offered to take care of the bullies by myself. Once I learned that, like, you couldn't really go to jail for beating up other kids, that's when I started getting into fights more. Before that, I would always just say, like, tell the teacher. But now, probably just ignore, you know? Like, if you ignore people, they tend to just go away. And it's like, if you ignore them, it's no loss on your part, you know? They're just wasting their time. It's kind of like antis and stuff, right? If you just don't give them any acknowledgement, sometimes they'll try and get worse and worse and worse and force your hand or whatever, but it's like, you're the one wasting your life, right? Like, I have plenty of other shit I can do, you know? Like, I don't... Listen. You can flip the fuck out all you want, right? But I have Genshin Impact on my phone. All I gotta do is turn that bad boy on. I'm distracted by my dailies, alright? Like, you... It's not even rent-free, alright? You don't exist in my head the second I'm distracted by a video game. And I really suggest that for most people. Like, instead of like subtweeting or like, people make it a big deal, right? People make it a big deal, like, oh, ignore the haters. Oh, I had this hater in my DMs. Fuck them. You know, like, I get fucking hates. Okay, I get private messages and stuff that are weird as fuck. I get all kinds of shit, you know? But it's like, you don't acknowledge it. If you just don't acknowledge it and don't pay attention to it, just ignore it. Like, literally close your eyes and walk away if that's what it takes. Like, it doesn't... Trying to convince yourself that it doesn't bother you, it's just, they're living in your head rent-free, right? You might be saying, oh, rent-free, bitch, I live rent-free in your head. But it's like, no, they're living rent-free in your head. You're so obsessed with, like, this idea of people hating you. And these people that are, like, being assholes to you. And it's like, dude, just forget it and move on. Like, just forget it and move on. Why are you getting stuck on this shit, right? Like, Ryan Darby, thank you so much for the... I missed how much it was, but thank you so much. Acknowledging is a sure way to get them to keep going. And getting hostile about it, like... Like, people do stuff, you know? Like, people do dumb stuff, people do good stuff. People go on the internet and they complain about people. People try to hurt other people. But it's like, I don't know what their story is. I don't know why they're taking their anger out on me. You know? Like, maybe they're going through some shit. What good does it do me going back at somebody who's upset at me or angry at me? Like, it's not making them feel any better. It's not making me feel any better. And if they're already feeling like shit, why would I potentially want to make things worse for them, you know? And if they're gonna get enjoyment out of making me upset, then, I mean, that's not healthy for them either. So it's like, you know what? Just forget about it, man. Just forget about it. Don't just not reply, but just don't acknowledge it at all. You know, don't go on Twitter and don't be like, oh my god, all these haters in my DMs. Oh my god, wow. Oh, death threat. Oh my god, wow. People are so, wow, clown emoji. Violence is always an option, is usually the right one. You can't commit violence against people online. But thank you for the $1. Like, just don't, like, I know, like, you can't help it getting to you. Like, sometimes it gets to me too, you know? That's why, like, I wasn't checking the thread over the holidays, right? Because, like, I was super stressed. It wasn't, I know it would hurt my feelings to go look at it. But now it's like, I'm in a fine mental state, I can look. And if you can't handle that kind of stuff, like, don't look. Don't expose yourself to it. And don't... She's talking to Lindsay Ellis. You know what? Yeah, I kind of am. Like, the Lindsay Ellis situation. Like, yeah, people were dogpiling you. People wouldn't leave you alone. But, like... Especially when you have employees, I think you have a duty to be a strong person. I think you have to... When you have other people relying on you, slip-ups happen, fuck-ups happen, you know? But you really can't let other people dictate how you live your life. You can't let other people take stuff away from you that you enjoy. Pippa literally saying, close your eyes, cyberbullying isn't real. I mean, that's really... It goes to the extreme sometimes, you know? It's not like it's not real, right? Because people will do stuff to you. You know? People will contact your employer. People will contact your family. People will try to separate other people from you, you know? Like, that's one of the popular tactics with, like, cancel culture, right? Is people will be like, oh, you still follow blank? You still talk to such and such? Well, that makes you just as bad as them. And they try to destroy relationships. They try to destroy the things that you hold dear. But you kind of just gotta put up and shut up. You know? You just kind of gotta put up with it. Like, yeah, it's hard, but that's just life, you know? I think it's absurd to act like this is any worse than what life is normally like, you know? Like, you get people that try to do bad stuff to you over the internet, and it's like, you know what? The same stuff is gonna happen throughout your life regardless. I think you should learn to deal with it. And learn to be a stronger person. Rather than... Like Lindsay Ellis. Putting up a paywalled, oh, I'm quitting and I'm stopping making videos because people are mean to me. And it's like, yeah, people are mean and people do bad stuff, and that's... It's not always just words on the internet, but... You really just gotta move on. Surround yourself with loving and kind people. That's the best thing you can do. I stopped using Twitter and going to the gym. Gotta say, it's pretty neat. You stopped going to the gym? Why did you stop going to the gym? Who's Lindsay Ellis? Lindsay Ellis is a content creator who she made video essays, and a lot of them I actually really liked. Some of them. She's a bit political, very political sometimes, but she got on the bad side of a community. Pseudo-intellectual. Yeah, she's like a pseudo-intellectual YouTuber. She's like in that vein of YouTube. And a lot of people really liked her content. And she made a comment, and some people thought it was problematic. And I don't remember if she apologized for it or anything. She's been in a lot of stuff. It all kind of just blurs together now. Pippa about to filter chat for liking a nostalgia critic cringer. I mean, I like a lot of people I don't necessarily agree with. Her views are at a college student level. I mean, I think that's just fine, you know? I'm not super into media criticism, so it's like, I think it's interesting to hear people's perspectives, you know? I don't necessarily have to agree with her takes on things. I don't necessarily agree with... I'm not gonna get into like the politics and stuff, but she made some pretty interesting videos, you know? And some people took issue with what she said on one of her tweets, and they ended up dogpiling her, and she had a lot of people harassing her, and now she's quitting making her video essays because of the amount of backlash that she was getting. And I just don't agree with it. Didn't that happen to ContraPoints? Probably. I think a lot of ContraPoints' own community hates her because of some of the things that she said. She's kinda similar to ContraPoints. What's your bet, Pippa? Is she quitting for real? I don't know. I think she'll be back in like a year or two. Was that your stomach growling? No, it was the pupper. My stream dying? Her mediocre science fiction book sold 8K copies in a month. I think Lindsay will be back to YouTube. Probably. I think people... I don't want to prescribe any, like, intent or motivations to Lindsay. I don't know what's going on in her head. But the more cynical side of my brain says that what's most likely is that she's upset and she's mad, but she will eventually be back, because a lot of the people that get big on YouTube... Previous donor didn't go through it. Any idea what triggered the filter? I will go check in a second, Anon. Thank you for the $1. A lot of these people that get big on YouTube, especially for giving their opinions, tend to need the validation from others, so they will eventually come back. She's doing it for money. I think regardless of money, right? Regardless of money, a lot of these people are very narcissistic. And I don't just mean that in like... I don't mean that in like a mean way, right? It's just like some people just really crave attention. And I think that will eventually drive them to come back, whether they really want to or not. Whether they say they're gone forever or not. So yeah, I think Lindsay Ellis will come back. They always come back somehow, yeah. I will go check to see what is up with the thing. This is the first time I've heard of Lindsay Ellis in like 6 years. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, Lindsay Ellis was... If you've heard of Channel Awesome and the Nostalgia Critic, Lindsay Ellis was the Nostalgia Chick. And now, thank you for the 420! Guys, don't listen to her. Pippa has been cyberbullying me for 3 months now and has methodically eliminated all of my social outlets and career options. She keeps sending radical capitalists to harass me outside my house. Oh my god. You know, I don't know what that... I don't know... Maybe the word radical? Maybe that's what... Maybe that's what set it off. I don't know. You guys might recognize her videos if I, Are you sending snipers? Yep. Gang stalkers? Yep. So this is our channel. I don't think I've seen even half of these, but like I liked the Omegaverse lawsuit and the Mean Girls one. So in this one, she talks about how there was like this author that got pissed off because somebody else aped their concepts, but their concept was actually very cliche. It was just part of like it was just a regular trope. Like isekai, right? It was basically like somebody getting mad that somebody copied their isekai tropes, even though isekai tropes kind of belong to everybody. Goodbye, quiz? No! Wait, did I close out of it? No, I did not. Imagine watching flesh tubers. Okay, anyways, yeah, so anyways, point is ignore people. Ignore the shitheads. If they assault you, then you can fight them back. But it's better if they don't live to tell the tale. That sounds kind of extreme, but like... Okay, I'm not advocating murder, right? But what I am saying is that if somebody tries to kill you... Or if somebody tries to rob you, right? All I'm saying is that they cannot testify for themselves if they are dead. And sometimes you have to protect yourself legally, so... I'm advocating self-defense. And not having your life ruined. Anyways! Anyways! I used to roleplay warrior cats in wet paint with others? Huh. Which of these does not scare you? Confrontation? Deep murky water? Heights? Strange sounds? Or darkness? Heights. I am not bothered by heights. I think I just broke my neck on the whiplash. The best defense is good offense. The best defense is making sure the other person cannot commit an offense. Right? But Pippa, what if I've been following a girl on social media for years, and then out of the blue she calls me a creepy sex pest? I'll just block her. I guess. Wait, what do you mean? Like, I mean, if you're just like looking at her stuff, I mean, it doesn't matter, you know? Like, people post, if you post something in public, you expect people to look at it. Dead men tell no tales, exactly. Remember, you are Yakuza protagonists, and even if you have to murder... Wait, what? She will not feel bad about it, but if she has to mow down a crowd of children to protect herself, then so be it. I mean, there's a line, right? If I have to murder a bunch of children to make sure I don't go to prison, well then I'm probably not gonna murder a bunch of children. But if somebody breaks into my home and like maybe they try to murder me or they try to do something to me, like I'm gonna kill them, right? And just remember not to shoot them in the back, because then it'll look like they were trying to flee. I'm just giving you guys practical advice. Alright, I know it sounds extreme, but like, if you guys have ever lived in a bad neighborhood, the cops will tell you this too, right? The cops will tell you the exact same thing. I'm just repeating information. That is practical advice. You do what you have to defend yourself in most states, yeah. Brandon, thank you for becoming a big PP! Pippa's I've never killed anyone! I've never killed anyone! Someone breaks into my home but escape by running them into a crowd of people. I'll do whatever it takes. What? If you beat someone with a bat, be sure there's a ball and a glove in your car! That's true, that's true. The enemy cannot push a button if you disable his hand. Sergeant Pipkin Zim Pippa. But that's another thing too, right? Is don't, Akula, thank you for calling a big peepee. You still have a metal bat, I do not. But thank you for the $1 syndicate. So, remember chat, remember how things will look in the eyes of the law, right? If you carry something for self-defense, make sure you have a reason other than self-defense you are carrying that, right? Like if you stab someone, oh, Evan Revel, thank you for the $10 for your advice. Cause if you're like, yeah, I carry a knife or I carry a gun in self-defense, right? That can still get you in trouble in some places. Because it looks like you're looking for a confrontation. Or it looks like you are looking to like murder somebody, right? So just be very conscientious of how things will look in the eyes of the law and in the eyes of the people. And remember, like in this example, you know, if somebody breaks into your house, right? They might turn around to grab a gun out of a bag or something, and that's when you shoot them. And that's like the logical thing to do, right? But then it's gonna look like they were fleeing, and you gunned down somebody who was trying to flee, and you were in no danger. You gotta think about this kind of stuff, because it will put you away for the rest of your life if you don't pay attention. John Garrison, thank you for the $5. Surviving edge weapons. Watch along, please. We already did that. Yeah, somebody mentioned having like a knife or whatever. You're carrying it for work, for utility. You're not carrying it for self-defense. You're carrying it for utility. Yes, I often use a knife in my job to cut the tape off of boxes. Right? That kind of thing. This is also not legal advice, yes. This is not legal advice. We did? Yeah, during like a terrorist thing. Why do I have a gun in my car? Oh, because I got attacked by a bear coming home one time. So it's a bear repellent. Or that's why I carry bear repellent in my car. You know, that kind of thing. Excuse me, officer, this is my kitchen gun. I happen to use it to defend myself from ruffians. Thank you for the 333. What if your job is stabbing people? Well, my job is people cutting. I have a sharpened shovel in my van in case I get stuck in the mud. Exactly. Exactly. This Pippa? It's a knife! I carry in case I need to defend myself from myself. Oh my god. Why is your kitchen gun outside of the kitchen? But yeah. The world is scary, chat. Gotta protect yourself. Keep a hatchet in case I need to chop down a fallen tree. That's another thing, you know? Oh, I keep an axe in my car because the trees fall down. So I keep my axe in my car so I can break down debris. I'll use my chat logs and Pippa's stream as an alibi. Got a license for that. Listen, I know some people will think that I sound paranoid, right? Because I've had this conversation before where people are like, oh, well, why do you carry that with you, right? But it's like, you never know what's gonna happen. Self-defense McNuke in a suitcase, yes. Danny, thank you for the $9.99. You never know when something's gonna happen. I keep a pit bull to keep me safe from what the fuck? You never know. And you always think, oh, it'll never happen to me, right? And then it happens to you. And you don't know. It could be another person. It could be you get attacked by a dog. It could be a rabid animal. It could be fucking anything, right? And you never wanna trust that just because you did the right thing or you did what you had to do to defend yourself, you can never trust that other people will take it that way, right? You'll never be able to predict how other people will react to your actions, you know? Especially in the age of everyone pulling out like video cameras and being like, "Oh my god, this person killed this dog. Aren't they a monster?" And it's like, well, dog had fucking rabies. Dog was attacking my chickens. Whatever, you know? But people will only see the video of you killing the dog and they'll be like, "Oh, what a fucking monster." Right? So you have to, you really have to do your best to protect yourself. Call a lawyer ASAP. Yeah, remember, the right answer, if the police ever question you on anything, whether you are innocent or whether you are guilty, I would like to talk to my lawyer first. If the police ask you, "Oh, were you here on this day?" Dog killer, thank you for the third. Thanks for understanding my side. You're welcome. Right? If the police are ever like, "Oh, well, we're just calling to ask about there was a little incident down the street from you. I just wanted to see if you were here on this day, if you'd be able to talk to us about it or whatever." You know, even if they're not accusing you of being part of the crime or whatever, you know, talk to your fucking lawyer first, right? Talk to your lawyer. Incidents happen, but the moment someone expires, the whole situation changes. I mean, it changes even if they don't expire. You're also safe as mentioning that you have the right taking your stance. Yep, you have the right to remain silent. Have you seen JCS, Criminal Psychology? Yes, I have. They make breakdowns about this kind of things. I am a big fan of that kind of stuff, like true crime. I'm not quite as into true crime as, like, some people. Like, I'm not really into, like, the whole solving cases kind of thing, but Pippa's 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐭 is gonna be a police interrogation room. No! But it's interesting knowing, like, what you can do to defend yourself, right? Because things don't work the way you think they would. Reminds me of that story about the guy who asked for his lawyer dog, and the judge thought he was asking for a lawyer dog and not invoking his right to silence. That's pretty fucking funny, though. Do you watch 𝐷𝐴𝐴𝐵𝐵𝐵 Says? I have not heard of them, but I will have to look it up. Is there a way we could do a true crime watch-along? I would have to look into that. I would have to ask, management, see what they say. We should watch the JCS episode on my cousin, Jodi Arias. Jodi Arias is your cousin? What? I've heard of Jodi Arias. Fuck, hold on. I know if I see a picture of her, I know I will be able to pinpoint what she did. Right, this is This is the girl that's like, her boyfriend, like, cheated on her or something? And she, like, went and she kept stabbing him and stabbing him and stabbing him, and she, like, caught pictures of it or something, I think? Put the hit on her parents. Oh, she's the one who put the hit on her parents! Wait. Hold on. No, she's not the one that put the hit on her parents. She's the one that was, like, obsessed with this guy. Stabbed him dozens of times, shot him a couple times, claimed self-defense. Yeah, I remember this. I think watching JCS would be fine on stream. No, the one that put the hit on her parents, that one was, her parents didn't approve of her boyfriend. So she killed her parents. And then her dad ended up surviving. Anyways, back to this. What would your friend say is your worst trait? Gullible, vanity, indecision, aloof, or impulsive? Probably my gullibility. I get a lot of shit. I get a lot of shit for like, why would you believe that, Pippa? Like that's a very common thing. Pippa, why would you believe that? Pippa, why did you do that? Oh, because somebody else said it was okay. Well, Pippa, didn't you think for yourself? What do you look for in a good story? A happy ending, colorful characters, unique world building, an interesting plot, mystery, and intrigue. I like characters. Characters are the things that keep me interested in the story. You are a true warrior of ThunderClan. You are brave and loyal and will always stand up for what is right. Actually, I would not give myself that much credit. I would not give myself that much credit, right? Because when you... standing up for things that are right sounds good in your head and everything. And everyone wants to believe that they would do the right thing in a situation. But you never actually know, right? If there's like a gunman in a Walmart or whatever, you want to think that, yeah, I would tackle them and I would save everybody, right? But you don't actually know what you would do. You can't say what you would do until you're in that situation. So I don't believe in giving myself credit for something that I don't actually know if I would do or not. It's nice to believe that you would, but... And then things like sometimes you just have to... It's always the Walmart! Listen, Walmart is like my... Walmart is like the only place I know, man. Leave me alone. Is this a good clan? Yeah, this is like the hero clan. And then like sometimes you see bad stuff happen to good people and you have to keep quiet because you don't know, like you have to have some self-preservation, chat. I know that's not the right thing to say. But if there's anything you guys listen to me about, I want you guys to recognize that self-preservation is not a bad thing. And people tend to paint it as though it is a bad thing, right? Like it's cowardly to run and save yourself, or it's cowardly to do this or whatever, or to not stand up for someone. But I really think it depends, right? Because if a doctor has the choice between throwing themselves on a gunman and getting shot and dying but protecting everybody else, I would rather they not protect everybody else, right? Because that doctor could go on to help so many other people. You really have to choose your battles wisely. And throwing yourself at an idea of justice, it might not be the right decision. I generally think it's only different if it is your family that needs protecting. Especially a CCW, don't be a hero. The cops will get you if they see you're a heater. Huh. Pippa's answer to the trolley question. Aw. I can block bullets with my katana, so I will save everyone. That is a very complex thing. It is a very complex thing. Pippa going deep, I was not prepared for moral questions. I don't really remember the trolley question, but isn't it like, run over like 2 old people or run over like 1 young person or something? Or is it just this? Is it just this? Is it just this simple? I don't know. I don't know. If this guy's a doctor and these are a bunch of homeless people, then I don't mean to prescribe more worth to his life just because he's a doctor. Because these are still people as well, right? They're not worth less than the doctor. But the doctor is more likely to put out more good into the world. So I do believe saving the 1 person, if they can do more good for the world. But that is not to say that I advocate for, like, killing any of them, right? They're still people. If you do nothing, 5 people die. If you do change the rail for 1 person, You sacrifice 1 for 5. Gotta sacrifice 1 for 5. Unless the guy is like a doctor or... was tying people to the tracks. Save the one person he should really feel in debt for you after that. One of the homeless people could be the next American Idol. Oh my god. Why is my stream dying? My stream! Why is my stream keep dying? Why is my internet being so bad? Pippa killed the homeless kid? No! If that was one bro... If that one was a bro, I would save them. There's also the organ swap problem where you choose to harvest one guy for organs to save 5 or let 5 people die. I took the Tesla quiz thing, right? The... How do you decide, like, the value of somebody? Like, do you hit two older people? Or do you hit the child? You can hit and kill 2 older people, or you have to hit a child. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I would kill the older people because they've already lived more of their life. But then what if the kid has cancer? Then I guess he's not gonna live for very long anyways. So... it's actively killing one. It's still actively killing one. Always go for the double kill. 3 for 1? What, start drifting and just fucking hit all of them? Kill the cancer child. People value people they know. That's another thing, right? The child, because they're statistically more likely to play Fortnite. That's enough threading the line of moral ambiguity for one day! Oh man. This has been an interesting stream. Oh, I was gonna talk about the mistakes as well. I'm gonna probably start wrapping this up. I'm already at like the 2-hour mark. But the amount of inconsistency in the Warrior Cats franchise is so large that on the wiki, right, it's not just like a list. It's not just like a list of errors throughout the series, right? It's like a list, not even of just the errors in each book. It's like a list. You click onto the errors page, right? And it's like, oh, for everything, there's so much inconsistency. You have to click on this is the first series, second series, third series. Each of these is 6 books. There are so many errors that they couldn't just shove them all onto one page. They were like, yeah. You gotta go deeper. You gotta go deeper. The errors are here. There are so many fucking mistakes in these. Jesus Christ. The allegiances are missing Rosetail and preemptively lists Firepaw, even though Firepaw doesn't join ThunderClan until later. So, the like character sheet thing is missing. At the beginning of the book, there's like a list of all the characters. So it already forgets one, and then it lists the main character, even though he doesn't join yet. Oakheart is mistakenly described as black in color. The colors and the descriptions of the characters are highly inaccurate. The descriptions of the characters are highly inaccurate. Say list again. List. I want to create something that one day has a disturbingly comprehensive wiki. Blue Star asks Spotted Leaf, has StarClan spoken to you yet? When she should have said, have StarClan spoken to you yet? Okay, this one's stupid, right? Has StarClan spoken to you yet? When she should say, have StarClan spoken to you yet? That's not really a mistake, right? Like, the way a character speaks is not a mistake. That's just like a character has a grammatical error. But that's not like a mistake in the series, I don't think. What happens when 3 women in a trench coat try to make a 1 jillion book arc? always hated that. I always hated that when people are like, "Oh, well, blank," or like this character used the wrong grammar, or this character, fucking said something instead of whatever. What, you know, like, shouldn't the most important thing be like dialogue that makes sense and sounds natural? Animorphs is also furry adjacent. Any opinions? Also, New Year's Eve countdown stream tomorrow, right? Oh, we could do a New Year's Eve countdown stream. That's a good idea. Animorphs was very strange. I read a little bit of it. This character acted in a logical way as a criticism was worthy. Exactly, Mr. Yura. I fucking hate that, right? People are like, "Oh, well, why didn't blank do the logical thing and do this?" And it's like, I don't know, maybe because people experience emotions and can be influenced by other things, and maybe a character doing something stupid isn't a plot hole, it's just sometimes people act stupidly. Bad speech can show character, yeah. It's like, I hate that so much. Like, CinemaSins was so guilty of that, right? Where they'd be like, if blank had just decided to do blank— oh my god, my fucking stream is dying! CinemaSins used to do that. They'd be like, blank did this, when they could have just did this other thing, and then it would have resolved the entire film. And it's like, you know, people don't just do, like, okay, why don't we just solve world peace? You know, I fucking hate it when people do that. Countdown for every time zone, 24-hour stream, now! People will be like, oh. Well, in reality, it would have made more sense for the characters to all rally for the main character. You know, everyone should have gotten together and then they could have defeated the villain. And it's like, okay, why have we not solved all of these problems in real life? If it's so easy to get people to do shit, if people are willing to just work together and do the logical thing all the time, then maybe we wouldn't fucking live on like a dying planet and shit, alright? Like, shut the fuck up. Almost called him a bad name. Why did Pippa just fix her dream? Shinji's dad just should have been nice. Could never enjoy CinemaSins, but 3 sins that would seem like bad writers, man. Just do this one thing! Reality. Nope. Oh my god. And then, like, the thing that really made me catch on to that, right? Because I kind of went with that line of reasoning for a while, but then there was one thing where it was, like, based on a true story. It was some fucking movie. It was based on a true story. And I heard somebody shit talk, like, the character decisions. Like, oh, that didn't make any sense from a writing standpoint. They should have had them do this. And it's like, these were real people. This was real. These were real people. What do you mean it's bad writing? This is stuff people actually did. This is not bad writing. This is what people actually did. Based on a true story, tons of those are fake though. Yeah, but I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was like this specific example where I went and I like looked it up. And it's like, oh no, this is like what actually happened. I don't remember what it was. It was, I think, like some historical film. Are you talking about Into the Wild? Kind of. But based on a true story tag, some of those are quite a large... Yeah, most based on a true story is like loosely inspired. Very loosely inspired. You can call them stupid, but calling a story bad for someone being stupid and causing the events of the story is missing the point entirely. True! It's like, okay, why didn't Patrick Bateman just go to a therapist? Why didn't Norman Bates just go to a therapist? Why didn't every serial killer in a movie just go to a therapist? I don't know, maybe because there'd been no fucking movie and that's not what, like, real serial killers do? Like, you should write a book at some point. I don't think I'm a good writer. I think I was a good writer in comparison to other people in my small communities. But I don't know if I I had a successful story once. I started writing a story and it actually started popping off. And I got scared and I dropped it. I couldn't live with people's expectations of me. Like, I started the story just, like, entirely for fun. I didn't do, like, any marketing or anything on this website. It was an original story, too. It wasn't even fanfic. And it just started popping off. And I was like, nope, goodbye. I was like, no, goodbye. I can't live with your expectations of me. This is too much. Goodbye. Cat Warriors fanfic win. Never. It happens. Used to write too. Was it a web novel? It was a web novel, yes. That sounds like bad writing. Why wouldn't you just embrace success? I know, right? Why wouldn't I just embrace success? You know, when Creekcraft rated me, why didn't I just pander to those children and I could have started a very successful Roblox career? That's kind of bad writing. At least tell us a little bit of the plot. It was isekai. It was an isekai, and it was about this girl that gets reincarnated from an MMO, or into an MMO that she would like to play. Because of fucking course it would be. And dropped. No wonder it got popular. This was like before isekai really started popping off. I think I caught it at like the right time. Twilight was successful, remember that, exactly. Well, that narrows it down. The goal is not for you to find it. SAO ripped off Pippa. I want to be a doctor because they're high status. I don't want to continue my story because it'll break the status. See, that's how people are, you know? That's how people are. Did you write a self-insert as the MC? No, I did not. Do you remember the increase in tablet viewers after— oh my god, yeah. Could have had $1 million Kickstarter. You know, I kind of wonder, like, where I could have went with that, you know? I kind of wonder, like, it was really popping off. I really wonder, like, if I had stuck with it, could I have become, like, a published author? Could I have been one of those authors that gets, like, a manhwa made or something? That's too much pressure. But the acting illogically should have been become a doctor. That was one thing that Stacy used to harp on a lot, too. She had very specific character templates you were supposed to fill out. And it would be like, name of the character, age of the character gender, their personality, their faults. And I remember one time, like, as I started to develop my writing skills, I was like, Stacy, I don't think a flaws section is necessarily necessary. If you already have personality, right? Because one of the things about personality traits is that your greatest strengths can also be your greatest flaws, you know? Like, people don't... It's not like there are objectively good traits and objectively bad traits, you know? Like, somebody might be kind, but they might be kind to such a fault that it's like, yeah, it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. Well, you don't want your cat to be a Mary Sue, right, Pippa? That's literally something she did to me. She would go on... There was this Mary Sue litmus test that she would have people fill out for their characters, and... she made a big deal about it. She made a big deal about your character not being a Mary Sue. And it's like... what you put down on paper doesn't really define whether or not your character is a Mary Sue or not. It's how you actually present them, right? It's through their actions that defines them as a Mary Sue. Because I can put on my character's thing, right? That their personality is they're loving, they're kind, and they're willing to sacrifice themselves for their loved ones. And then their flaws are that they they snore when they sleep, and they have a short temper, and they, I don't know, like... or a pushover, I don't know. Like, they bottle up all their anger. And it's like... So yeah, the character has faults. And on the surface level, they're not a Mary Sue. But then if I present them as not actually having any faults, if I make their faults into a strength and have them always make the best decisions and sacrifice the integrity of the character in order to create, like, the ideal moments, you know, like... So it says she has a short temper on paper, but then, like, through actual character interactions, I make her, like, oh, well, she got annoyed by what he said, but she put up with it for the sake of not creating conflict. And you go on and on with that, like, it's... I think a Mary Sue is more about being unrealistic. I think a Mary Sue is more about being unrealistic in choices and actions. Because, like, Superman's kind of a Mary Sue, isn't he? Or Gary still. But he's well written a lot of the time, so it's easy to empathize with him. And the purpose that he serves, it doesn't matter that he's a Gary Stu, because he serves a different purpose. It's not... I don't know. I think the concept of, like, Mary Sue and Gary Stu is honestly just a waste of time. I think it's a waste of time, and it's not a worthwhile discussion to have. Aren't Mary Sue's just a blank slate? The characters are written to be adept at whatever situation is thrown at them, basically. The real problem with Mary Sue's is just bad writing. It's not really... In my personal opinion anyways, I don't think it's really the fault of a character. I think it's the fault of how they're presented. No, he isn't. I think it really depends on your definition of, like, Mary Stu and Gary Stu, because when I was into writing, people defined Mary Sue as basically just a character with no real flaws, and everybody loves them. And the thing with, like, Superman, right, is the whole, like, oh, his only flaw is kryptonite. And that only comes into scenario, or that only really comes into the scenario in, like, very, very specific situations. So largely, Superman can be considered a Gary Stu. But regardless, I think that's a pointless conversation. I think trying to attach these labels is just... Again, I don't have perfect grammar. I don't have excellent writing skills. I'm not a fucking... I don't study literary... fucking sciences or whatever. But I also don't think that's what it takes to have good writing. I think people get so caught up in you need to have this explained magic system, you need to have this well thought out world and well expanded upon world, and your characters need to have, like, this perfect arc and thought out flaws and thought out personality traits. And you guys know Clockwork Orange was written in a week. Clockwork Orange was written in a week, okay? Not a lot of thought went into that. He just kind of wrote it on a whim. It's a great story. And there are a lot of stories that don't necessarily follow specific formulas for success. Just have the soul. I think that's what it comes down to, is a good story just takes good soul. A good story has a good soul to it. And I think that's why sometimes you can have these so well thought out stories and everything. They're so thought out that everything's perfectly explained. There's no flaws in the logic, and it's just boring. It's just boring. Formulas make boring stories, they do. Sometimes they work well, but that said, those formulas emphasize because most people aren't geniuses who can make good stories by intuition. I think that's what it really takes, though, to make a good story, is just good intuition. I don't think you can plan out a story to be good. I think you can plan out a story to be formulaic and to appeal to specific audiences through uses of things like tropes. And that's how a lot of books get published nowadays, right? Is there's a niche that needs to be filled, like vampires and werewolves and all that. And people can write stories that appeal to people. And they can be technical masterpieces, and they can hit all of the points by points by points, but it can still suck. It can still be appealing to people, but it's still not really a compelling story. And then you can have the same exact thing, and it can be incredibly compelling, and it can be very good. But from having read the stories of a lot of authors, and learning what actually went into a lot of classic books. You know, a lot of times people just started writing. You know? Like Franz Kafka, he didn't sit there and fill out like all these templates and shit, and he didn't try and formulate the perfect story. If I remember correctly, the Metamorphosis was just something that he just started writing, and he had an idea in mind. And Lord of the Rings, though, I don't know the story behind Lord of the Rings. OPM is comedy, which is why it works. Just be a schizo like Kafka. Metamorphosis was the first story I had to read in school that I was actually invested in. The Metamorphosis was fantastic. And I had a very similar experience, but I had already found other stories that I liked. But it was one of the few, like, recommended reading that actually was nice. And that's another thing, is just because something's a classic doesn't necessarily mean it's good. You know? A lot of these stories that get put on pedestals, they just fit the... They took off in their time, you know? They were popular for their time, or they were popular at one point. They're not necessarily meant to appeal to modern audiences. Modern audiences most likely weren't even considered, and sometimes the audience that ended up heralding the work wasn't the intended audience either. Such is the case with Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. That story was written for a little girl. It wasn't meant to take off into this huge thing. It wasn't meant to be heralded as a literary masterpiece. It's something that just ended up capturing the imagination of a lot of people, and it's full of flaws, and the story doesn't make sense, and it doesn't try to make sense, and it took off regardless. And a lot of people that would not have cared about it before care about it now, and I honestly think that a lot of people only care about it because other people care about it. It's only because Alice in Wonderland, or Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, is already a staple that I think a lot of other people enjoy it. Because there's plenty of other works out there, right? There's plenty of other works out there that are just the same as Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, or even better. But because it's already put on a pedestal, it's put more value upon it. Your read along of Alice is one of my favorite series of your streams. Well, thank you so much, JL710. So don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Don't place importance on something just because other people do, you know? I think books are a very wonderful thing. Books are very precious to me. And you don't have to like Tom Sawyer. You don't have to like Tom Sawyer. You know? You don't have to like Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. All these books that get put as classics, you know, they're classics from a different time, or they're classics for specific audiences. What if the guy who recommended Metamorphosis from the book club meant the Kafka one instead of the Schindel one this entire time? I doubt it, because it was, we were recommending mangas. Huckleberry Finn deserves its reputation, but Tom Sawyer is a slog. Classics like Ready Player One. I fucking hated Ready Player One. 1984, despite the funny meme, is genuinely great. Exactly. 1984 is amazing. And I think it's way better than A Brave New World, and I don't fucking have to like A Brave New World, right? Just because it's heralded as a classic, I didn't fucking like the writing style. I didn't like the fucking story, okay? Walden was boring. Walden is also another thing that a lot of people are told that they have to like. Are told that, like, if you don't like, you have bad taste, or that it's like a defining piece of literature. And it's like, you know, I can understand. I like Walden, but I understand how a lot of people wouldn't like it. Today's Tom Sawyer gets high on Pipkin. Who's this cat? What did she do with Pippa? Pippa. Ah! Brave New World is written by a person explicitly afraid of enjoyable media. Of course it's... Have you read Technomancer? I have not. Oh, and I want you guys to take that mindset. If you agree with me, or if, like, I've changed your mind on books at all. I didn't really present, like, some sort of extraordinary viewpoint or anything, but if it's made you think about books a bit more, I want you to apply that with light novels as well, you know? Don't let people tell you that, oh yes, light novels are not real pieces of literature or whatever, you know? Light novels, oh, well, the characters act like they're in an anime versus, like, real people. Or, oh, well, this light novel sucks because the magic system isn't explained. Or whatever, you know, don't... At the end of the day, I don't think you can really define literature as objectively good or objectively bad. Okay? And I want you to, if you enjoy something, don't let people try and tell you that just because it doesn't hit these points or whatever, that it's bad writing or that it's not worth your time. Because a lot of things like light novels, they get brushed aside because it doesn't follow Western conventions. And for some reason, the Western standard is like the gold standard when it comes to media. And that's starting to change. That's starting to change. People are starting to... Like broader audiences are starting to... And media critics are starting to appreciate things that aren't necessarily Western-oriented. Western media has no standards. I think Western critics get caught up in how things should be. And I think that led to a lot of... This is just entirely my guess, anyways. I can't say for sure. I don't know what goes through people's heads. But I think that led to a lot of, like, directors and stuff of movies and writers feeling like they had to hit these specific boxes, so they ended up rebelling. And I think it's led to like this weird I'll read your dono in a second. I think it's led to like this weird culture of like fuck the critics versus what the critics say is right. And it leads to some very strange things. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. What rules? That... If you look at like modern critics, for example, okay, I'm gonna use modern critics because like it's an easier example to draw from right now. You had a lot of people that hated like Transformers, right? Because God, what was it about Transformers? A lot of people thought Transformers was really shallow. The humor was very childish. There was too much focus on like special effects. The story wasn't compelling enough or whatever. And it's like... Transformers was meant for kids, right? And you get critics, a lot of modern critics are like, well, just because it's for kids doesn't mean it has to be bad, or doesn't mean it can be bad. And it's like, well, no, it doesn't mean that it can be bad, but it also means it's not really for you. And the things that it appeals... The things it does appeals to a specific demographic, and you're not part of that demographic. So, for you to say it's bad because it doesn't appeal to the things that appeal to your demographic, don't really... Well, it doesn't really make sense, right? Michael Bay Transformers are not for kids. Well, yeah, it's like someone said, summer blockbuster for teenagers. It's summer blockbuster for like teenagers. And it has a lot of like teenager jokes and shit, you know? Like, ah haha, the dog pissed on the robot. The robot is humping the girl's leg. Okay, yeah, it's dumb like teenager stuff. Kinda similar to how critics didn't like the latest Godzilla because the monsters fought too much. Yeah, it's like, man... Things don't need to hit a specific, how should I say? Pippa, the critics actually judge the film according to the genre and target demographic. I don't think they do, though. I don't think they do, though. I say... Like, I'm sorry, what I get from critics, what I get from a lot of critics, is they have specific gold standards that they compare everything else to. And they might have a few specific standards. It might be like fucking... It could be Citizen Kane and Jurassic Park, okay? And they'll compare everything to that. Like, that is how films should be in their mind. And if films are not like that... Yeah, this is not as good as Lord of the Rings. It sucks. And it's like, I feel like it's not really... You shouldn't really do that. I know I'm acting like I know better than critics. People who get paid to review things. But... I just don't agree with critics. I don't agree with the culture critics, and I feel like it's done... This could be completely wrong, but I feel like it's done a lot of damage to Western media. Because either things try to be so unapologetically against the critics to the point of like one of the earlier Godzilla movies like literally eats one of like fucking eats fuck Roger Ebert to having movies that are like Oscar bait, right? To having movies that are just straight up Oscar baits, like Crash, where it's like, I'm not defending that Godzilla movie, but I'm just saying like that is a prime example of the culture where like, if I recall correctly, didn't Siskel and Ebert not get eaten by Godzilla? I could have swore they got eaten. Oh, they criticized for not getting eaten. Okay, I mean that was like a silly thing, but that it's not about like them criticizing. It's about like that is an example of like a movie that is so, in my opinion, like offended by the idea of critique that it tries to rebel against them. And then you have things that are just deliberately Oscar bait that just try to get as high of reviews as possible and try to hit all the notes, and they don't end up having any soul, but they hit the right notes for the critics, so they get a good review. And yeah, I don't like critics. I think critical analysis is good, but I don't think anyone should be paid to be a critic. I don't think anyone should be paid to be a critic, and I don't think it's appropriate to determine whether or not you will go see a movie based on the reviews of critics. I think based on the reviews of other people in your demographic makes sense. But the problem with critics, right, is you'll get like a 40-year-old man reviewing Twilight, and it's like, well, YouTube killed critic streamers, kill more games than gaming rags. I had the same problem with like My Little Pony analysis channels, right? Like there became this whole culture of deciding what episodes were good and what episodes of My Little Pony were bad. And it's like some 25-year-old dude fucking talking about it, and it's like, fuck you, dude. The show wasn't meant for you. I'm glad you enjoy the show, but like, is this really your place? I mean, it's a free country, you can do whatever you want, right? But it just annoys me that people will like follow the fucking ramblings of a 25-year-old man talking about My Little Pony and decide, ah, yes, this person decides that this episode of My Little Pony is bad because there wasn't enough world building. I also hate Rotten Tomatoes. But Pippa, isn't their audience just other 25-year-old men interested in My Little Pony? You can make that argument. You can make that argument, and I think that's fair to say, you know, like, okay, the review is for other people in their demographic to know whether or not they should watch it or appreciate it, I guess. But at that point, it's like, when one demographic is so large that it overtakes the original demographic, or when one person amasses so much clout that their opinion holds too much weight, it ends up affecting the original... It ends up affecting the community and people's perception of the work, and then it ends up affecting the original work a lot of the times. It's important to note that a person paid to review things, has seen every movie in the past 30 years, will like different tropes than an average Joe. I love the critic Pippa movie hater 333. It makes all objectively correct criticism. Critics are just people who can't create or enjoy things. You know what? That's a hot take, but you know what? I think you're fucking right. That is like a pretty cynical take, but I think you're right. I think a lot of critics are people that just don't create their own shit and can't create their own shit, and they take it out on other people. And other people just enjoy the negativity and enjoy the ranting and enjoy seeing a different perspective, so they hop on board. But the people themselves doing it, Hope we can warriors here so we can. Oh my god. And that's not to say, don't get me wrong, okay? I enjoy analyses of media, you know? Like I like some Lindsay Ellis videos. I've watched fucking Quentin reviews. What else do I watch? I forget. I've been watching a lot of like breakdowns of High Guardian Spice lately because that's like the new big thing. And while I enjoy a lot of this content, and while I disagree with a lot of their points or disagree with like the concepts of some of these things, isn't Quentin the guy that did like the iCarly thing? I thought that was hilarious. He's the guy. He did like a fucking like yeah. I'm sorry. This is fucking amazing. He's a group. What? Oh god, please no, he's creepy. What happened? I just thought it was hilarious doing a fucking breakdown of iCarly. This is a 3. I think there's multiple of these. So this one's like 4 hours and 45 minutes, and he talks about oh no. Pippa killing her audience in real time. You don't have to agree with someone to enjoy their stuff. Pippa no longer aligns with my definition of base. Pippa wants to do a deep dive into iCarly. Regardless of... I think that attitude is a lot of like the critic attitude as well, you know? Like when you're like, like this person cannot create good content because like I don't agree with like their politics or whatever. Or they did something stupid. I think you need to learn to separate the art from the artist, right? Pippa tired. I am tired. I have no idea who this person is. I don't know what he did on Twitter, but I know he's like associated with BreadTube. He's just genuinely cringe. How can you talk about iCarly for 4 hours? He goes so fucking in depth. He talks about like the format of the house and everything. Like they like live in this apartment. I never really watched iCarly, so this is all like very new to me. But they like live in this apartment, and he talks about like the layout of the apartment, and it's just like fascinating watching somebody go on about like the layout of an apartment in a fucking show, right? It's fascinating. It's like the dedication that went into this. iCarly is one of Nene's favorite Western dramas. Oh my god. It's funny, but it takes some genuine mental illness to care that much about iCarly of all things. I mean, you could say that about anything, right? Like, how much mental illness do you guys have to be watching me? That wasn't probably a very smart or popular thing to say, but like, we all have our stupid interests, right? Like, I'm stupid and you guys are watching me. I'm sure a lot of people think sitting there watching Jim is stupid, but I'll sit there and binge Jim content even though he's just complaining about stuff like Tumblr. Like, oh, how much mental illness do you have to care about teen girls doing stupid stuff on Tumblr? I don't know, but I'll watch Jim talk about it for hours. I love him. Gotta have some self-awareness, chat. All my hobbies are filled by autism. Yeah, same. Jim has charisma. Jim has an abnormal amount of charisma. I really want to know, like, what fucking pill that man took to be able to, like, speak the way he does. Time to unsubscribe and cancel membership. You're a huge Tim Rogers fan? Rest in peace, Terry. That pill is cigarettes. I should start smoking. Same thing with like the Christian stuff, right? Like Geno Samuels. Geno Samuels. You guys can sit there and watch hours and hours of Geno Samuels talk about Christian, who is like a literal autistic guy who is just obsessed with fucking Sonic. But it's different when this guy does it about iCarly. It's not really that different. It sounds like it's just popular to hate Quentin. Which, if he's a fucking groomer, then yeah, I understand that. If he's being a fucking weirdo on Twitter, I understand why it's popular to hate him. I think it's the same thing with Lindsay. I don't really appreciate the way Lindsay acts online. Lindsay's done a lot of stupid stuff, but I think she makes some genuinely good and entertaining content. I can't really watch people talk about Click. He's not a groomer, but certainly leaked DMs show he's not... The dude is not okay. He gets creepier with ContraPoints than movie Bob ever did with Lindsay. Part of it is when he got political. Man, I just fucking ignore politics in this day and age. Night-night, good night, Brandon. I just ignore politics, right? Because, like, especially with, like, the film analysis side and stuff of YouTube, and a lot of the content creators that I watch, like this one girl. Fuck, I don't remember her name. I don't remember her name. She did a video on Animal Jam recently. This girl is... Okay, like this girl. She's kind of weird. I don't really agree with a lot of the stuff that comes out of her mouth, but I think she makes really good content, so I keep watching her. Because at the end of the day, you know, everyone has their points of view on things, and everyone falls on whatever end of the spectrum with things. What is that makeup? She does like crazy makeup looks for all of her. Except for all of them, but I guess only some of them. She does like a lot of crazy makeup looks. And she just talks about some like interesting old, like, female demographic pop culture-y stuff. It's hard to ignore if they drop it in their content randomly. It can be hard. It took a while for me to get used to with content creators. You know, like sometimes content creators will just drop like the odd politics into their content, and you just gotta be like, you know what, whatever. Whatever. It's just... It gets to a point where you can't ignore politics when it literally affects every aspect of your life. It sucks. You have to be aware of who you support. I can't enjoy everything Critical says. I don't agree with everything Critical says, but I still enjoy his content. You gotta separate real life from online life. And I know that gets into the debate of like, how can you separate real life from online stuff when like the online and art sphere is going to reflect the state of the real world and the real world's culture and everything. But you really just gotta pick your battles, chat. You really just have to pick your battles. You know, if you decide to say like, okay, well, this person drops their opinions about things in this, and this other person drops their opinions, they should separate it first. You know, I mean, that's like an ideal situation, but in the end, you're just limiting yourself and your enjoyment of things. Why's Critical? I kinda hate him for spending over a month trying to subvert the Karen meme. I don't know what that's about. Why do I feel the stream needs to end with a big hug? It's kind of interesting how distinctly different tastes people have when their politics are different, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't think politics decides your taste in things, right? I think like what's a good example? Like video games, right? Like video games, you know? Two sides of a political spectrum can unite in enjoying a specific game or whatever for two completely different reasons, but at the end of the day, they still enjoy it. Can you give us a purr? Oh. Purr. I think at the end of the day, you know, we're all just people and we all have different points of view on things, and sometimes people like to give their opinions more than others, and I mean, I give my opinion a lot. I'm giving my opinion right now. And I think just because you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean you can't support them. People assume I'm one of them because of my certainty of bi interest, yet I'm decidedly not. Political disagreements literally kill my enjoyment. You're my favorite political streamer, what the hell? It'd be nice if that idealistic view was true, but the world is a lot colder than that. But like, you can fixate, right? You can fixate on, okay, if I support this song artist and they have these political views, then my support of them is gonna go to the support of other things that I don't support. And that's fair, but I get, like, at the end of the day, I really just think it's picking your battles, you know? I really just think it's picking your battles. You can always counteract that support with support of whatever your political alignment is. Or you can... You know, everything is political. Some people genuinely believe that, and I feel very bad for those people. Who's to say we aren't picking our battles by not watching them? I mean, that's definitely an approach. I just personally think if you're limiting who you watch based on who agrees with you, then you're limiting, it's your loss, you're limiting yourself. And I think it'd be better to focus on issues you can have, I guess, more impact with. I don't know, like, I think of entertainment. Imagine watching Pippa for escapism. I think of entertainment as escapism, you know? And it's like, yeah, sometimes the real world will bleed into there, but everything is political though. Like, yeah, everything can have politics in it. You know, you can look at a game and you can be like, oh, well, this is obviously influenced by real world politics, or this is giving credence to these real world politics. And you can do that with literally everything, you know? Everything is sexist, everything is racist, and you have to point it all out, you know, that kind of stuff. You can be like that. But I think there are bigger issues. And I think you're only hurting yourself. And I think it does end up locking you into an echo chamber, whether or not you intend for it to. My issue is when they force it into their content. Then you don't know! I'll gladly watch things made by people who disagree with me politically, but the moment they start trying to interject said politics into their stuff, it gets dropped. It can definitely, like, sometimes it gets overwhelming for me too sometimes, right? Like, sometimes people, like, I'll be watching something and they'll just go on to like a full-on like fucking tangent out of nowhere, and I'm just like, okay, goodbye. Okay, goodbye. But other than that, like that, yeah, yep, exactly. Like, that is too much. That is too much even for me. But sometimes people will just be like, you know, people will put stuff in their Twitter profiles or whatever for or against whatever party or for or against whatever movement. And it's like, you just gotta learn to tune that stuff out, I think. And maybe you'll change your mind on things, you know, maybe you'll, like, seeing another point of view, maybe you'll change your mind on something. And I don't think that's something you should be scared of. And I don't think that's not directed at any one group, okay? That's not like, oh, well, if you believe this, maybe you'll change your mind on this if you just give it a chance. That's just in general. You're doing a 2-hour tangent. Oh my god. Just learn to enjoy things, chat. I mean, that's not like an attack or anything. I think you guys obviously do enjoy things if you're sitting here consuming my content and enjoying it. Obviously, you do enjoy things. But, like, I mean, just in general, you know? Like, don't let... Don't let, I guess, tribalism decide. You know, like, okay, like with me, right? So I have content creators that I don't like, and I think you guys know about some of them. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy them. Like, just because, like, I'm on this side of something and they're on this other side of something, it's whatever. You can still enjoy them. Enjoying things in 2022. Omega lol. We just like giving you a hard time. I doubt most of us care what you like or not. Some people do get very locked into like tribalist instincts though, and I'm kind of like that, you know. Like I'm kind of like hollow life, hollow life, hollow life. Like I'm kind of like that, right? That's no secret. But that doesn't mean other things can't be enjoyed, and sometimes people will decide, okay, this is how a content creator feels about this subject, so this is how I have to feel. And tribalism is based and important though. Look at the I really think it depends, man. I really think it depends. I think when it comes down to like the kind of just like video games you play or content you consume, man, it's like, well, I don't think it's a good thing that I'm so stuck on Hololive, you know? Oh my god. That type of mindset is sad though, when someone allows a content creator to influence them that heavily. I don't want anyone to be like that. I don't want anyone to be like that. Just because I hate something or just because I don't disagree or do agree does not mean you have to agree. Does not mean you have to disagree. And does not mean you have to like what I like or dislike what I like. And I want you guys to internalize that. I know that sounds like such an obvious thing, right? But like, I mean, I was like that for a while. Especially when I was younger and more impressionable. I was like that with Stacy, you know? Like, Stacy said something was cringe. Okay, well, that's cringe. Oh, a bunch of people in this circle don't like Harry Potter? Well, I'm not allowed to like Harry Potter. I mean, I came to this conclusion I didn't like Harry Potter on my own. But that's like an example of it, you know? Like, some people might feel forced to dislike Harry Potter because in their circle, it's not popular. Or a lot of people hate it. And it's like wanting to fit in and stuff. I've gone so off the rails in this tangent. I still like the concept of Magical Academy, not a big HP fan though. I like the concept of Harry Potter as well, but there's a lot of weird things about Harry Potter that just make it like the writing for one. I will become an anti and disagree with you on literally everything. What about the Warrior Cats form, right? I'm gonna end here, man. I'm gonna end here. Probably gonna wipe the second half of this VOD because it has nothing to do with the title. How about those trolley problems? Oh my god. Harry Potter's Magical Nancy Drew? Meh. Keep it? Maybe I'll make it into like a different thing. I don't know. Don't worry, but this is Kino. It has nothing to do with the stream title though. Maybe I'll like cut it into a different video. Thinking the quiz was a mistake. I'm so tired. I'm gonna go fall asleep. Thank you so much for stopping by. Zinko, Mr. Mannequin, Chippy Dirt Golem. Oh wait, I forgot to read your... Hold on, I forgot to read your dono. I'm so sorry. I missed the dot. Can you hide a dot in every stream for us to find and help us keep our monitors clean? Adon, thank you for the $1. Maybe. AJ Birth, thank you so much for the sub. Chibi Dark Globes, thank you for the $6.90. It might be bold to make a recommendation, but try the Gulag Archipelago by Alexander I. Solhensen, and look into the story of how he wrote it and got it published. I will. I'm sorry for like the random rants, man. You're free to tune out whenever. When I go on crazy tangents, you're so free to tune out, man. I know I go off the rails. Asoira, GK Alert, Akira, Gashog, Daltwist, Badger Cape, Dylan, Phoenix Gaming, GK Alert, hey, extra mail, Vash, Ainium Beaming, Soldier Shitten, Vash, Aegis, Nickel, Berserk Rage, Moon Berserker, Cypher, Jail 710, Fruitcakes, Skinakaji, Syndicate Sitman, Kahiento Amos, Zenko, very nice name, Rian PZ, James, Del's Army, Archive Bro, Parakami, Fruitcakes, James Boney, Freedom Extremist, Deadmat Gaming, Richard Returns, A. Lamau, Ozone, Blaze, Frank Hamano, Young Immortal, Kawa Chinchin, Bushwhacker, Python Hair, Magapado, Danny. There's some other Japanese name I can't understand. Mumber Thrax, Akula, Demo Respecter, Tuesday, Rocco, is everyone's name? I don't know. Good night. I'm gonna go pass out. Ajora G, Beef Pie. Sleep well. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're here for the tangents. Oh my god. Crocodilonate. Oh, Crocodilonate! I wanted to recommend a video for you. There's one more request for New Year's countdown. Oh my god. Crocodilonate, I saw a video and I immediately thought of you. It's about a crocodile sanctuary. I don't know if I can find it now, but there's like this crocodile rescue and it's in like Minnesota or something, or Michigan. And it's just this cute video about these people that rescue alligators. And I was like, oh, I should send that to them. But I can't find it. If I find it, I'll post it in Capitolis. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. That's really nice for crocodiles. Yeah, it's a good thing because they don't... well, they have to store them inside for the winter, but because it's so cold, they don't breed. So it's good. I'll pen it if you do then. Okay. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Good night.